All right, guys, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome. If you are new, thank you guys so much for being here today. As always, I hope everybody's day is going well so far. Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday. Um, yeah, so gaming news is pretty much completely dead. Not sure if you guys have noticed. I mean, that's not to say that there isn't any gaming news at all. There's certainly some out there. But when it comes to PlayStation specifically, things are kind of dead at the moment. We do have something that occurred. I think it was either really early this morning or late last night, an accidental leak of some kind regarding Spider-Man 2. And I just want to say this right off the bat here, because I've saw people in the chat asking, like, is this a story leak? Is this what's going on? It's nothing too major. It's actually something that probably won't surprise anybody, but it was something that apparently did leak out. It was something that was quickly deleted, but it's nothing story related, no spoilers or anything like that. More on the technical side of the game. But on top of that, we also have some accessibility settings that are coming out about Spider-Man 2, which is, expected, but always nice to see that. Sony may be showing up at Gamescom, bit of a surprise. I see somebody in the chat saying, MBG, bro, please clap back at Turboverse TV. He stays talking about you, bro. I feel like I've heard that name before. I don't know, man. Maybe I would, but I don't know, like, how I would even clap back, right? Like, I don't know what this person's saying about me. I don't even know who this person is. So I'm sorry, man, but uh I'll have, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll look into it. I don't know though. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes I see people, they're like, "Oh, so and so, this person's talking about you or whoever," and I'm like, "Who?" I'm not trying to be rude. It's just I don't know, man. Like, this shit is it's always the same, you know? It's always the same. Like, people will find any way they can to get some kind of attention or find some type of, I guess, what you could call success on the internet, you know? And some people find that the only way they're capable of gaining an audience, the only way they're capable of keeping people engaged and watching them and clicking on their content is by making fun of people or being, causing drama or making a big deal out of things that are really not a big deal at all. I see it all the time, man. To me, it's just kind of sad and pathetic, frankly. Like, the thing that makes me the most sad about the internet is that people do reward this type of behavior. They reward this type of content. They send a clear and I'm not talking about you guys, but too many people out there, they reward this kind of just nonsensical, in the mud type of content. But it is what it is, man. I feel like it's always kind of been a thing. It always will be a thing. I don't have any I don't have any intention of, like, clapping back on anyone who, you know, takes my content or what I say or whatever and decides to make content of their own out of it. I just my I mean, I'm sure that I've said things in the past or even maybe more recently. I don't know. It depends. Devil Shooter saying, MBG, surely the people who slander you go against YouTube's terms of service. I'm sure you could do something. Yeah, you're probably right, but that's the thing is I don't feel the need to do something that extreme because it's just like I don't know, man. It's one of these things where I think it's weird. Like I try to understand it. I mean, I guess people maybe they think it's like fun or whatever, I guess, but I've just never been that type of person, you know? Like I've never been the type of person that just make fun of people or shit on people or try to pick fights with people. And I feel like trying to go out of my way to do something like that is just like yeah, it's like a waste of time and energy. And I mean, the reality is, I in the past I've thought like maybe like I get why people do it to an extent, right? I don't fully understand it, but the one area that I do understand is they want attention, like they want viewership, and it is true that if you're willing to engage in like drama and these back and forth like bickering arguments and stuff like that, trying to like one up somebody and dunk on somebody. It is true that this type of stuff gets more attention than it should, and people know that. So that's what they go for, man. You know? Um, but yeah, I don't plan on doing any of that because that's not why I'm here. You know, it's like if this was just about views and attention, I notice I'm lagging a lot for some reason. What the hell? Sorry, let me I think I have too many tabs open here. I apologize about the I really have no idea why my streams continue to lag like this, man. It's so annoying. Like I've done everything I can to try to work it out. Maybe yeah, I've been talking about upgrading my PC for a while and I still just haven't quite gotten around to it. I hope to though, and sooner rather than later, certainly. So I apologize about that. But yeah, hopefully it's sorted out now. It looks good on this end. Mamaru Chiba, member for 3 months, appreciate that. Says F the haters, carry on your honest, candid, and be true to yourself. Well, I appreciate that, man. I do. My sorry, I wish my screen here wasn't on a delay because I'm trying to determine if this is like really still lagging or not. It looks what is my stream breaking? It's lagging hard. All right, well, how's the audio? How's the audio? I'm gonna so I'm actually gonna deactivate my camera for a moment here. I'm sorry. It's a little bit, but I'm desperate to figure out what's going on. The audio is fine. So as long you got I'm gonna bring the camera back. I'm just gonna give it a couple minutes here to sort itself out. I have no idea what is causing this. Um, it's so weird, dude. Like I don't even have. It has to be my internet because I don't have anything open. I just have my streaming software. Yeah, let me try something here real quick. Actually, I'm gonna put the camera back on and I'm gonna try this to fix it. All right, so I activated performance mode. Normally, I don't have to do something like that because I don't have problems like this. I mean, I've had some issues with lag, but this I don't know, something's really wrong today. So I have it in performance mode now. I'm hoping that fixes the problem. You guys just continue to let me know if if something like that happens again. But Mamaru, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's so strange, dude. It's so strange how I don't know, like I've noticed there's like kind of this whole subsection that has emerged where it's like I guess a couple of people on YouTube started like targeting PlayStation fans or whatever on YouTube. And it became like the cool thing to kind of like make fun of people like me and others. And I get it, I'm not saying that some of the stuff they talk about isn't warranted. Like, again, I've had some controversial or maybe not so great takes in the past. But I noticed it like spawned like a whole subgenre where like I guess people kind of realized that, oh wait, like we can make this kind of content too. And I've just seen all these different like no-name channels pop up where like they're putting like me in their thumbnail and shit. And I'm like, this is kind of weird. Like I don't know how to feel about this, where it's like people are using me. Like really? Like me. Like there's no one, like there's no better way. There's no one else. It's me. Again, it's a little bit flattering. It's not the best way to be talked about, of course, but I just think that was kind of funny. Like I've come across at least like 5 channels in the past couple of months where I'm like, there's no way. And I'll just like click on their channel to see like what is their content. And it's literally just that, dude. It's just the absolute like lowest bottom feeding like people who are just like, they rely on other people for their content. And that's just crazy to me. Like I could never do something like that. I could never bring myself to put time or effort into a channel and make money off of a channel, knowing that like I'm doing so off of other people's YouTube videos and other people's, content. It just feels so wrong and weird, but hey man. Yeah, low hanging fruit. That's a good way to put it. So I appreciate that. Automatronic 1234. Let me see. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You're saying MBG, can Disney force Sony to port Spider-Man on Xbox just like MLB forced Sony to port MLB the show on Game Pass because Spider-Man is on PC? Actually, I think they could if they really wanted to, but it comes down to contractual agreements. Like for Spider-Man 2018 and for Spider-Man 2, you'll never see them on Xbox. Clearly, Sony signed an agreement with Disney, and Disney agreed to this, where it's like, this is a PlayStation exclusive. Disney has proven that they're actually okay signing these type of agreements and doing like exclusivity for different platforms. But I feel like in the future, if Disney changed their mind, maybe. I don't want to say for sure, but it's a possibility, but I don't think so, man. The thing about Spider-Man and PlayStation and Disney is that they have a good thing going. You know what I mean? Like Spider-Man isn't struggling on PlayStation. It's actually doing phenomenal. And of course, I'm sure a company like Disney is like, well, maybe we could squeeze more sales if we put it on Xbox, but I don't know. These are things that we don't really have too much insight into, simply for the fact that these are behind closed doors, high-end executive negotiations and deals and contracts that are being written up and signed by both parties. And we just don't know like what makes up these contracts, So I want to say it's unlikely, like highly, highly unlikely, because things seem to be going really well for Insomniac and Spider-Man. And, I feel like Disney's probably in a position right now where they're like, you know what? We don't want to interfere. You guys do your thing. You build the hype. Your games are doing incredible numbers. Keep it going. Keep it going. So that's my assumption anyway. And the fact that Sony was then able to secure another exclusive with Wolverine tells me that it is a matter of, I think, leverage to a degree, where it's like Sony, when they're talking to Disney, they can basically point out like, this is how well our, your license did, your IP did in our hands. This is how much money we made for you. Let us do it again. Right? I feel like that's kind of how that works. So could be wrong, but that's my assumption. But it's a good question. I think MLB is a little bit different. MLB is like, it's a sports game. It is, if you think about it, it's actually kind of insane that a sports game like MLB The Show was exclusive to PlayStation for as long as it was. You know, like it's a sports game. It's baseball. I mean, it was always so weird to me, but you know, I think everybody's totally fine with MLB The Show being multi-plat. You know, even I think like Sony at this point is. And you also followed up here by saying, MBG, just in case you don't know, Sony only has the movie rights for Spider-Man. Yeah, I was aware of that. And that's why I think like it's a matter of leverage, you know. I think Disney just kind of took a chance with Sony. They saw how well the PS4 was selling, and they were like, you know what? Okay, let's give it a shot, see if it works out. And it worked out really well. So I appreciate that. And actually, I didn't do my normal intro today, and I won't draw it out. But you know, just to remind everybody, let you know, for those of you who are here, thank you for watching my content. If you want to help support my channel, support what I do here directly, please consider following Automatronic 1234 here and donating a super chat. Keeps the conversation going in different directions, and it's a way for you to support me directly. So I greatly appreciate it. Consider becoming a channel member. You get access to some exclusive channel member only content. And if you are already a channel member, please consider gifting channel memberships as well. This is something we continue to do here on the channel. You guys show incredible support pretty much every stream, and it allows me to do what I do here. I wouldn't be able to do these streams the same way or nearly as frequently if it wasn't for your direct support. I am fan funded, so by all means, if you're up to it, consider doing that. But yeah, man, it's, getting back to just talking about this month, right? This month, I mean, we're halfway through now. It's August 15th. I had a feeling it would be a quiet month, but man, Sony has pretty much gone like completely dark, right? There's like hardly any conversation, and I'm just kind of wondering, if that's going to stay, like remain that way for the remainder of August or what. We have Cuddy Can't Hang. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, man. You're saying, any chance of any first-party surprises at Gamescom? Well, actually, it's a great question, Cuddy Can't Hang, and that's kind of one of the things I wanted to bring up today. Speaking of Gamescom, I want to relay this news to you. Let me bring it up really quick. I think it was reported by VGC. Where is it? So Jeff Keighley says this year's Gamescom opening night live is less about announcing new projects. Jeff Keighley has provided an update on his next flagship game show, Gamescom Opening Night Live, which he says will focus less on announcing new projects. Speaking to VGC ahead of the August 22nd event, the host and producer said that viewers should expect mostly updates on announced games planned to release over the next 12 months. It's going to be an exciting show with new looks at many announced upcoming games like Alan Wake 2, Black Myth Wukong, Keighley said. This year's Opening Night Live is less about announcing brand new projects and more about giving fans updates on some of the biggest games due out over the next year. And yeah, this is... So, I gotta say, I was already like very, very, very unenthusiastic about Gamescom. I streamed Gamescom last year, and it was, it was just so not exciting to watch. It wasn't like, I don't know. I don't want to say it was bad because I feel like the expectations are already low, but I'm just saying it's like, I don't know. These shows can go on for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's tough to kind of hang in there and want to willingly watch them when like this is basically just a long advertisement, for games that are like that game Fort Solace, which I think looks fine, but Fort Solace is coming out on August 25th. That was announced that's going to be part of Gamescom, and I'm like, really? Like, is that necessary? Like, your game's launching in like 2 days. I mean, I get it. I guess maybe it makes sense. It's like, well, let's get it out there. But I'm just like, I don't want to. I'm good. You know, like I don't want to tune in to see that or probably most of these games because I don't know. I am getting to a point where more than ever before, I feel less enthusiastic about seeing like these third party games. I don't know why. Um, I mean, I know like Alan Wake 2 is going to be there, and that's cool. But it's like, I don't know. We got a gameplay demonstration of Alan Wake, and it looks good. To answer your question, though, Cuddy Can't Hang, you're asking, can we expect any first party surprises? Well, here's the weird thing about Gamescom. So, Sony announced we're not going to be part of Gamescom. So, naturally, my answer to you should be no. Sony said they're not going to be there. However, Sony said the same thing last year. They said we're not going to be part of Gamescom, and instead, the DualSense Edge was announced. So, Sony basically lied, which is so weird to me. Like, unless it was like a very last minute, like, actually, let's just throw this in there. But it's just so weird. Like, now when Sony says, yeah, we're not going to be at Gamescom, we can't really take that as like, oh, yeah, nothing's going to be there. No, something could be there. Something first party, I don't know, man. We know that there is the new PlayStation 5 model that has been heavily rumored. It's basically been leaked out. You know, we've seen it. It's out there. It's just a matter of when is Sony going to announce this thing. It could come at Gamescom. I mean, maybe Sony wants to start doing these kind of like hardware announcements at a place like Gamescom. Oh yeah, something else. So even though it's not first party, Death Stranding 2, it's worth noting that Hideo Kojima, he took some photos, posted them to X, and he's editing something again. He's editing a trailer. Now, it could be Death Stranding 2. It could also be this, I keep forgetting about it, but that Overdose, yeah, the Xbox title that he's working on, it could be that. I think Xbox is confirmed to be at Gamescom. So I don't know, man. It's like we could see Death Stranding 2. We could see this new PS5 model announced. We could see nothing. Of course, Sony did say, oh, we're not going to be there. But, I mean, I feel like there's a very, very slim chance we could get something for Spider-Man 2, but I don't think so. Sony already gave Jeff Keighley Spider-Man 2 for Summer Game Fest in June. So, do I expect Starfield to be at Gamescom? I mean, you'd imagine, yeah, right? It's coming in just a couple weeks, so I don't know. Stellar Blade? Oh, that's another one. Yeah, actually, I feel like we haven't heard or seen anything of Stellar Blade in a long time. That's a possibility. I just want people to keep their expectations as low as you possibly can for Gamescom when it comes to Sony, because again, they said they're not going to be there. And because of that, be prepared to just see absolutely nothing PlayStation related. It makes it so annoying for me because, like, if Sony didn't do the same thing last year, I wouldn't stream Gamescom. You know what I mean? Like, if Sony said last year, we're not going to be at Gamescom, and then proceeded to not be at Gamescom, it would make my life a lot easier. But just the fact that I don't know, man, it's going to be tough because I really kind of don't want to watch Gamescom. I'm getting exhausted with some of these shows. It's tough, you know? It's tough. Specifically, Jeff Keighley shows, they just go on for too long, man. They overstay their welcome so badly. They really do. But, you're saying it's sad that we have to consistently keep our expectations low for 3 years into the generation. Yeah, man. I feel you. I feel like the The last time I recall going into an event with incredibly high expectations, and those expectations were actually surpassed, let alone met, um, was the June Future of Gaming event for the PS5, and then the September event they did was really good too. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's getting to a point like I hate times like this. It's fine. I know they happen, but times like this where it's like, oh my God, like nothing is happening. Like nothing is going on right now. Although we do have the Spider-Man leak. We have Jakey Stee. Jakey Stee coming out, dropping a membership gift. Jakey, I really appreciate that. I feel like this isn't your first time gifting. But if you did gift in the past, I think it was a little while ago. So really appreciate you coming in here, man, and getting us started off with a membership gift, kicking things off. Let me, how many does it say? There we go. Yeah, so Jakey Stee.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. You're saying it's been a while, bro. Keep on keeping on. Will do, man.
We're going to heal.
Will do. I appreciate that. But yeah, so Sony might be at Gamescom. It's very much a 50-50 thing. Trying to think, what do I hope to see? What do I hope to see? Well, as much as I feel like it would be an underwhelming thing, I'm feeling like we're going to see the new PS5 model announced. I don't know. It depends on how Sony handles it. And yeah, that's true too. Like Helldivers 2, man. When are we going to get that release date? I see a lot of people hoping for State of Play or something, and there's nothing. I mean, look, man, normally we get like a rumor or something before a State of Play announcement, and there's nothing. There's nothing, man. Saying Metal Gear Solid Delta. I doubt it, man. I don't know. I don't think I was gonna say Kojima. I don't think Jeff Keighley wants to work with Konami, man. Like I think it's clear he still has like an axe to grind with Konami. Check this out. What is this? Let me see. Is this new? Final Fantasy 16 producer wishes there was only one game platform. Final Fantasy 16 producer Naoki Yoshida has said he believes it would be better if there was just a single game platform. According to an IGN translation of an interview with a Taiwanese YouTube channel, Yoshida said it would be better for developers and players alike if there weren't competing console platforms. Game platforms, I probably shouldn't say this, but I wish there was only one. He reportedly said it would be better for both developers and the players. I mean, he's not wrong. Of course, like that's the dream, man. That's the utopia. I feel bad that he has to feel like I probably shouldn't say this. Like, no, dude, you're a developer. You want to make games. And you want people to play your games. Like you're totally, absolutely. It'll never happen, unfortunately, but it would be cool. It's kind of like a dream that'll never happen. I just thought that, I don't know, I just came across that article. Honestly, this stream today is probably going to be very much just kind of off the cuff. Let's see what we can find out here. Let's see what we can find because there is no news. You know what I should do? I'm going to dive into this main topic here talking about Spider-Man 2. I just wish that there was more content to it, but I have this article from WCCF Tech, and when I woke up today, I saw this somewhere. I forget where, but I wasn't sure if I believed it or not because I was like, well, maybe this is somebody just making this up or guessing or whatever. But I came across this article and it's from WCCF Tech. They say, from the looks of it, Sony briefly detailed the visual modes among other options for the upcoming Spider-Man 2. As spotted by Insider Gaming earlier today, the official Spider-Man 2 page on the PlayStation website was recently updated with various additional details about Insomniac's highly anticipated Spider-Man sequel. Details seemingly included details about the game's accessibility options, as well as gameplay and controller options, camera settings, subtitle options, HUD settings, audio settings, and visual options. Interestingly, the above-mentioned Spider-Man 2 page now only lists accessibility improvements, and other details have likely been removed from the page. Looks like someone uploaded too much text on the website. We tried to find a cached page of Sony's Spider-Man 2 site, but we only managed to grab a shot of the page that was cached on August 5th. Unfortunately, on this date, the page didn't include any additional details. Going through the visual options that Insider Gaming managed to pull from the website before it was changed, we can see that Spider-Man 2 will include two visual modes: a fidelity mode at 30 frames per second and a performance mode at 60 frames per second without the graphical features that are present in the game's fidelity mode. Interestingly, there doesn't appear to be a performance ray tracing mode as seen in Spider-Man Remastered, Spider-Man Miles Morales, as well as Insomniac's Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. This mode was added to the game post-launch and is described as an alternate version of the 60 FPS performance mode, adding ray tracing by adjusting the scene resolution, reflection quality, and pedestrian density. If these graphical modes are the real deal for Spider-Man 2, Insomniac could well be adding the performance ray tracing mode to the game at a later date. Other graphical options include HDR, motion blur, film grain, chromatic aberration, everybody's favorite, and more. And yeah, so they have it in more detail here. The fidelity mode will run at 30 frames per second with graphical features like ray tracing, enhanced lighting, and additional VFX. Temporal techniques provide an extra high-quality picture from a 4K resolution base. Performance mode will run at 60 frames per second without the extra graphical features in fidelity mode. Temporal techniques provide a 4K picture from a lower base resolution. So, yeah, we pretty much have the confirmation here, guys. Spider-Man 2, 4K, 60 frames per second, or upscaled 4K, 60 frames per second. Unfortunately, it seems like this wasn't supposed to come out just yet because the text was quickly deleted. I did see some people trying to pass this off as a leak from an insider. No, this is not a leak from an insider. There are no insiders leaking this, although there is one thing that I do want to point out. All right, and people were pointing this out to me over on my X account. I still can't get used to it, man. I'm trying so hard to call it X, but it just sounds so weird and wrong. But people are pointing out there is this X user who seems to be leaking things about Spider-Man 2, and they've gotten like many things correct, but no one's really recognized this person yet. His name is, let me see, what is his username? His name is Iron Man PS5. And I was like kind of looking through this person's profile, and it seems like, yeah, they have leaked some things like the release date or stuff like this in the past, and they got it right. So this might be a relatively reliable insider, at least when it comes to Spider-Man 2 info. But they claimed that Spider-Man 2 is actually going to launch with a 60 FPS performance ray tracing mode. So I do wonder if the reason why this was removed and deleted is because Insomniac does actually have more that they're going to have available day one in terms of the different modes you can play Spider-Man 2 on. I know people want like a 40 FPS mode. You know, they want to be able to play it like basically fidelity at 40 FPS. People want 120 FPS mode or 120 hertz mode. And dude, I gotta call something out right now, man. Listen. It's just so funny to me that I could go completely out of my way to just avoid any console war drama, right? I could just be totally innocent, doing nothing. I'm just reporting the info. And that's what I did. I put out this info where I'm like, just so you know, this is what came out. It was deleted, but if it's to be believed, Spider-Man 2, 4K 30 FPS fidelity, ray tracing, 4K 60 FPS performance. Dude, I see this reply from somebody, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just catching my attention more because of just the lack of gaming news right now. But he says, so this is bbear438 on Twitter. He says, so in order to play the next gen version of the game with all of the bells and whistles, you have to play it at 30 frames per second. To play it at 60 frames per second, you lose all the next gen features. Well, damn. And then somebody below him, Andy DG, replies by saying, almost like the flack on Starfield was pointless. And dude, I swear, man, like, you just can't win ever. Like, one game is announced to have a 60 FPS performance mode and the other is not, and yet somehow it results in like people getting defensive, you know, like over the thing that they shouldn't be getting defensive over. Like, guys, you totally, like, the point just went way over your head. The reason why people want a 60 FPS mode for Starfield is the same reason they want it in any other video game. It is to have the option. You know, like, people are well aware that in order to get a 60 FPS mode, you got to scale things down. Some things got to be turned off or put to the low setting. We get that. Everybody knows that. But to basically make it, I mean, by their logic, Spider-Man 2 shouldn't have a 60 FPS performance mode because, well, you got to turn off ray tracing and some of the visual effects have to be scaled down. Like, what? I swear, man, this is the shit that is out there right now. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Like, what is wrong with you people? I mean, really, bro. God damn. Yeah, meanwhile, Starfield doesn't, I don't know, does it offer ray tracing? Maybe it does. I haven't even been paying attention, but it's just so weird to me, dude. Like, just focus on your game. And be excited for it, man. Okay. I was just surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised. I shouldn't be surprised by anything at this point. But yet I continually find myself surprised. But you know what? I wouldn't doubt Insomniac Games. That's another thing. Insomniac has proven to be very, very talented. Insomniac knows exactly what they're doing, and they've been a powerhouse studio underneath PlayStation. And when it comes to delivering these extra game modes, but graphical modes for their games, they've been stellar, man. They've been on point. So we need official confirmation for all of this stuff, but it is true that this was posted on the official PlayStation website and was very quickly deleted. And also, I want to point out one of the accessibility options that people seem to be feeling pretty good about is you will actually be able to slow down the combat in Spider-Man 2 to like 30%. So I don't think many people are going to have to use that, but, you know, it's just, again, Sony Studios going above and beyond to try to have every possible accessibility feature so everybody can play their game, which is always cool. You know, I always support that. But yeah, that's the Spider-Man 2 leak. Again, it's an accidental leak because it comes directly from PlayStation and they clearly didn't want that out yet. And so, yeah, not the most exciting thing. But man, I can't wait. I cannot wait for Spider-Man 2. I've been playing the crap out of Spider-Man Remastered right now. I'm trying really, really hard to get the platinum for that. I'm trying to grind that out and get the platinum for it because I want to start playing GT7 to get acquainted with that game for PSVR 2 and also Firewall Ultra. But you know, as I'm playing Spider-Man Remastered, it's been a while since I played it, and you know, man, like I notice more imperfections this time around, and I think that's just because, you know, it's a remastered PS4 game, and it's been, I've played Miles Morales since then. I played other games since Spider-Man 2018, and Spider-Man 2018 is still one of the best superhero games I've ever played, period. Probably one of the best games I played. But I can notice there are more imperfections, than not major things, just nitpicky things. But I am really glad that I'm replaying it, because many people have tried to convince me and others that the upgrade with Spider-Man 2, like Spider-Man 2 being PS5 only, like it's going to be minimal. Like there's going to be minimal difference. It's just the same game, looks the same, it's going to play the same. And this is why I'm really glad that I'm taking my time to play this game through fully from start to finish, get the platinum, do everything in it, because I want to know. I want to know just how wrong these people are, because I'm certain they're going to be wrong, that actually it's major upgrade. Like it's very different in a lot of ways, a lot better in a lot of ways. That's my hope anyway. So we'll see. Maybe not though. Maybe I'll find myself surprised and be like, actually, maybe they are too similar. But that's not my expectation. But yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, I was laughing, dude. I was laughing because I saw I saw that yesterday. First Contact Entertainment, the studio that's making Firewall Ultra, they said, our game launches next week, basically. And I was just laughing, dude, because we also got the announcement of Green Hell dropping on PSVR 2 today. Where's Ryan McCaffrey? I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring this up again, but I just need to know, where is he? Is he going to acknowledge these two games that back to back PSVR 2 releases? No, probably not. He's probably not going to mention it. Probably won't even acknowledge it. Why would he? Green Hell looks interesting. And we got The Rock. The Rock coming in, dropping a membership of his own, following up Jakey Stee. Love to see it, The Rock. Thank you so much for that, man. Let me give you a...
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Give you a Kratos thank you.
Enough from me. We're going to have
and I'll give you a Jim Ryan. Really appreciate that support, The Rock. Appreciate all the support that you guys have been showing the channel. Really means a lot. But yeah, man, I don't know. You're saying Green Hell isn't fun? It's not? I don't know. I've never played it. All right, so let me... My God, there are no topics today, man. I'm sorry. There's like nothing. I'll find something. Let's go search for some. Oh, you know what? Actually, there is something. I forgot. Let's get back to this Call of Duty situation. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Somebody pointed out on my last stream, they were like, hold on, MBG, there's a report that claims that Modern Warfare 3 is going to have a discount for Modern Warfare 2 owners. So you only have to pay $40. You only have to pay $40 for everybody. For Modern Warfare 3. Nope. Nope. Modern Warfare 3 is a full-priced premium $70 game, and there's a new report coming out today that apparently Modern Warfare 3... Now, this has yet to be officially confirmed, but apparently Modern Warfare 3 is going to be every single multiplayer map that launches with this game is going to be a remastered map from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 from 2009. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God, if that is true. Yeah, the irony. Modern Warfare 3 beta coming first to PlayStation. Will there be a campaign? Apparently there is, but I don't know. We haven't seen or heard anything yet. But dude, that is lunacy. That is lunacy to me. If I don't know, man. I'm just shocked. Like I'm shocked. I am, but I'm not. That they are actually going through with this, man. Like they are just like, we are taking this expansion and we're calling it a full $70 premium release. Like, you got to be kidding me, dude. It is painful to see people excited for Call of Duty. I'm sorry, it is. It's really depressing because it's like, guys, come on, man. Come on. You're saying it will be fun though? I mean, yeah, but I guess I don't know. Like it's you're saying people will buy it. Yes, they will. I just couldn't believe it. I just genuinely, I was like, dude, this can't be real right now. Like that, this is as bad as I thought it would be. The classic, yeah, apparently the classic Call of Duty titles are like the top selling games in the UK, which is ironic to me. Which, there's clearly this desire, just this immense desire to go back to the classic Call of Duty formula. MBG, I know you're gonna buy it. Nah, dude, I'm good, man. I'm good, bro. You're saying these maps are pretty legendary that I want them. I will admit that it is, yeah, Modern Warfare 2 from 2009, they do have legendary maps. So it's like, it's exciting, but also disappointing at the same time. Like, it's exciting that, wow, all these amazing maps that we miss are, people have been wanting, they're finally coming back. But it's like in a $70 premium release for, with no original maps, apparently. So it's, yeah, I get it. Maybe it'll work the other way, dude. Maybe people will be, yeah. You know what? That's actually so funny. You're saying that the new maps suck. Like, the developers these days, they don't know how to make good maps. How funny would it be if it turns out that people actually like this better? I mean, at that point, just remaster, I mean, MW2 from 2009. I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I just can't get over it. What is happening, man? What is happening to the gaming industry? All right. Yeah, so let me see. Did you see? So I saw that there was some drama with Starfield recently. At this point, I'm just going through the line here. This might be a very short stream today, guys. I don't know. Saying you won't lie, you liked Modern Warfare 1 and 2 back in the day. It's 12 to 13 years ago. MBG hates COD now. No. I don't hate Call of Duty. I haven't liked Call of Duty in a long time. I don't hate it. I just don't quite understand it anymore. But no, I don't hate Call of Duty. Like, to me, it's just a little bit sad. Like, that's all. I just think it's gonna be sad if this new MW3 game, it's like, if it's painfully obvious that, like, this is an expansion, like, this is DLC, and they get away with selling it for full price at $70, like, that's just sad to me, because it's like, that's a bad precedent to set. But you say, MBG, you should try MW3. They're making the gameplay like old Call of Duty and going back on the realism aspect. Well, you know what? I'll be interested to see, dude. That would be now. See, that's where I want to say, like, my assumption with Modern Warfare 3 is that this is going to be identical to MW2. This is an MW2 expansion. If they show Modern Warfare 3 and it's like, dude, this looks like legit, like MW, like classic MW2 and 3, like they went back to that classic formula, that actually might catch my attention. But I don't think they're doing that. I don't think they're doing that. I would be shocked if they did that. But I don't think so, man. Let me see here. We have the Zombie Fanatic. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. You're saying, MBG, do you think Microsoft will make Call of Duty better or worse? Imagine Xbox getting an exclusive COD games, and it'll be like the 360 era, kind of. Honestly, that is the $68 billion question, isn't it? Will Microsoft make Call of Duty better or worse? Some people would say it couldn't get any worse. Some people will say Microsoft could definitely make it worse. I'll be real with you right now, man. I'm hesitant to answer this question because I know that people, they'll just hear what I have to say and be like, "Oh, it's just a fanboy answer." But I mean this. Like if I was still a big Call of Duty fan, I would genuinely be concerned about Microsoft handling Call of Duty. I would. Not, that's not a fanboy thing. It's just I would genuinely be worried because it's like Microsoft has proven that they know how to really fuck up like established, shooters specifically. Like honestly, I would just look at what they did with Halo and I'd be like, "Oh my god, dude, this is the company that's now going to be so like completely in charge of my favorite shooter." I would be concerned. Now, I would try to be optimistic, and I am hopeful. I think if Phil Spencer's, I don't want to say if he's smart, because if he's smart, he'll just continue to let the Call of Duty machine make all the money that it's going to make. But I don't know. Phil Spencer, people have always talked about, he's a gamer. He kind of understands that aspect. I'm really interested to see if he has any intention of doing things differently with Call of Duty once Microsoft owns it. And I'm talking about like from a development standpoint, like, are you going to, take a break from the yearly releases? Are you going to allow them to kind of deviate from the formula and do something different or unique with the Call of Duty IP or the name? Or is it just going to be, this is a well-oiled machine, just keep it going, keep it, keep turning out that profit, right? It'll be interesting to see. We have a Hellbound 1981, dude. Hellbound, thank you so much, man. Hellbound, another legend here in these parts, always, pretty much every stream, doling out some membership gifts. He drops another 5 membership gifts for this community today. Really appreciate that support, Hellbound. I got to give you a, let's see.
I sacrificed.
I'll give you a Jin Sakai, and Hellbound will also give you,
I'll
give you a snake for that, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, W's in the chat for Hellbound. That brings us up to 7 members on the day. 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually can't see my screen right now, so if my membership counter is off at all at any point, please forgive me. I have my streaming software in performance mode right now, and because of that, I can't actually see the screen, which is weird, but I guess that's how it works. But thank you so much for that, Hellbound. Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. Right now, there seems to be, so I'm loath to talk about this. Like, I really don't want to talk too much about this, but I don't know. I'm so desperate to talk about any gaming news topics, but there's like none. But one of the things that has kind of been going around recently is cat hair everywhere. Is how people are a little bit concerned apparently with the way, like with Starfield and like when the reviews are coming out, like when reviewers are getting their hands on the game. Is anybody going to be able to play this game before it drops? And I saw this came up on the gaming leaks and rumors subreddit. Starfield review codes are going out later this week. And this comes from, was it actually deleted? It says here from Tom Henderson, but when I click on the link, I think this person posted a bad link. But yeah, there was like some concern. There was like this rumor going around, and I think it was stomped out really quickly that apparently Starfield wasn't like the reviews weren't going to be up. Wait, hold on. Let me take a step back here. The rumor is that Starfield reviews are not going to go live until September 1st, which is when early access begins. And I think we got confirmation that review codes are being sent out later this week. So I guess that kind of lines up in a way. But yeah, all eyes are now on Starfield basically to see, like, you know, the pressures. I mean, the pressure was already immensely high for Starfield, but now with Baldur's Gate 3 out, Baldur's Gate basically, you know, stomping everything around it, just blowing up. People are wondering, like, you know, is Starfield going to be able to match up to that even a little bit? We'll see. We'll see. But at this point, guys, I think I'm just going to turn to the chat and just basically talk to you guys about whatever it is you want to talk about, because holy shit, like, it's weird because I thought I would have more to say about these topics, but I don't. Okay. Nope, that's not news. Yeah, dude, there's nothing happening, man. Check here. Let's see. Let's see. Assassin's Creed Mirage, its release date got moved up, I think, by a week. So yeah, at this point, I mean, we're an hour into the stream. Aliens and pineapple on pizza. I mean, we could go in that direction. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm in the frame of mind to go in that direction. You're saying your Xbox friend was hyping up Starfield, told me you fly from planet into space without loading screens. That turned out to be BS. When's my VR headset coming? I'm going to be ordering it in just a couple of days. Just a couple of days. Matt York says it's kind of hard to compare a lot of games to Baldur's Gate, though. Divinity is the only game I can kind of directly get the comparison. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess Starfield and Baldur's Gate are two very different games in a lot of ways. I've never seen this question before. MBG, do you think our protagonist can fly to outer space in GTA 6? You know what? That would be a hell of a thing. Wouldn't it? Maybe there's some kind of space mission in GTA 6. I wouldn't doubt it. You never know, man. MBG, go over your worst spiritual things. I don't think, dude, I don't know, man. I have to be in a specific frame of mind. You know, it's like a little bit of PTSD there. I don't know if I can just dive into that right now, man. Opinion about Bend. We know nothing. I'm a little bit nervous. I won't lie. You know what, actually? I know what we can talk about. That's a good, that kind of got me, the juices flowing here a little bit. So I put out this video yesterday, and I don't know how many of you guys watched it. I mean, I'm going to assume most of you here, if not all of you, watched my video. And this video that I put out yesterday, I thought it would be a good idea to do a bit of a deep dive, a dedicated video into Sony's next big first-person shooter called Concord. Because I feel like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just the mood that I'm in today. Maybe it's just my frame of mind today. Maybe I'm in a more negative frame of mind, but I'm getting a little bit nervous, truthfully, about Sony and the way that they are beginning to handle things with their studios. The reason why I say this is because, like, I don't know. I went over all the information about Concord yesterday, and on paper, it all sounds good. Like, this could be something big. But then I think about the way Sony decided to reveal this game. And it was like a fart in the wind, basically. I mean, I don't want to be overly dramatic about it, but I mean, it really just kind of came and went. And there's just people, like millions and millions of people who just have no idea what this game is. And even me, somebody who follows this stuff very closely, even I am still trying to understand, like, so what's this game going to be like exactly? And it just kind of got me thinking about PlayStation Studios in general and how, I don't know, man. Sony's, listen, I want to ask you guys this. I'm going to put out a poll because I'm actually curious. Let me construct this poll. All right. I put this poll out in the chat. Does Sony need to do something big now? I want everybody in the chat, everybody on the stream right now, vote on that poll. The two answers are yes, they really need to, or no, they're doing just fine. And I wanted to ask this question because, well, I try to give a little bit more context. What do I mean by big? Honestly, I mean anything. I mean a state of play for Spider-Man, a huge state of play for other games, another showcase, a major update on a big game they're working on, or a new game announcement. I just mean something that's going to make some waves and rattle the cage a little bit, you know, because I've been, you know, I don't know. This could just be the fact that, again, it's the middle of August and there's nothing happening. It could just be getting to me, and the fact that, you know, I'm a content creator and I'm always looking to have these conversations with you guys. But I really am starting to like get this sense that like Sony's got to do something. Like I feel like they really need to, not right now. I don't mean like literally right now, like this week or this month, but I mean in the coming months. Spider-Man 2 is going to be colossal for them. It's going to make waves, but I just get this sense of like, I just am surprised by how, let me back up here. I'm having such a difficult time articulating what it is I'm trying to say and communicate. So we had extensive conversations on the channel here about how the internet is not real life, right? Like we've had extensive conversations about how people could be slandering Sony and PlayStation and shit talking the fan base and everything else till they're blue in the face, and it has no actual tangible impact on like real life. And like, are people no longer buying PS5s? Is, you know, is how Sony's bottom line looking? People not buying their games. It has either zero or very, very, very minimal impact. However, I want to talk about the other side of this conversation that I didn't really talk about too much that day. And that is the fact that even though that is true, it is telling, in my opinion, that right now there are so many people not on board, or there's so many people unenthusiastic about PlayStation. And this is a great example. Phoenix in the chat, he says, Ben Studios' next project has multiplayer, so that is a bit worrying, to be honest. And that right there perfectly encapsulates like the general sentiment around all of PlayStation right now, maybe outside of Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. And that is, I think, out of everything that I want Sony like to do and to tackle, right? Like we always talk about like, oh, I want them to do this, I want them to do that. I want them to I just want them to either prove these people right and make it make it obvious that we should be worried, or I want them to prove them wrong, because we're just in limbo. And that's what's really frustrating to me, is that like, we know Sony has all these major plans for live service games. We have no new single player games from PlayStation Studios announced except for Wolverine. You know? We have more live service games announced for PlayStation Studios than single player games at this moment in time. Not counting Spider-Man 2, which, you know, Spider-Man 2, again, still counts for something, but I'm just talking like beyond that. And it is just so frustrating for me as a fan, where it's like, and especially because I talk to a lot of other fans here, right? Where it's like, I want to be optimistic and I want to be excited, but I also have nothing to not even say, but to show like people who are worried. Like, you ask me, you know, what do I think of Ben Studio's new game? I have no fucking idea, dude. And I wish I had the slightest clue. Like, we basically have to have blind faith at some point. And that's what is getting a little bit frustrating, where it's like, I don't know, a lot of people don't have good faith. You know, a lot of people feel like, dude, Sony, this is the beginning of the end, man, where they are doing a complete pivot and going in a completely different direction. And there isn't a single thing out there for me to say, well, I mean, other than like what they've done in the past, which accounts for something, right? He's saying, let them cook. You worry too much, MBG. Well, I know it's the reason why I am a little bit worried is because I think that there is a good reason to be worried. And all right, I apologize that this is a more negative, you know, a more negative conversation, and maybe not the most exciting. But you know what? Listen, it's the calm before the storm, right? At the very least, we know we have Spider-Man 2 coming out. We know we have Wolverine coming out. These are things to be excited about. But I want to go through this hypothetical scenario with you. Okay? And maybe after I go through this with you, you'll understand why I am a little bit worried, and why it's becoming more and more difficult for me to be enthusiastic or even optimistic about some of the things that Sony has coming. Even though I want to be, it's difficult. So let's go over this hypothetical, okay? What the hell? That was random. All right, so let's say for those of us here who want to be optimistic about PlayStation, right? And like, come on, let's face it. Like, we know there's a lot of us here that still very much have that. It's PlayStation, man. It's Sony PlayStation. They never let us down. They know what they're doing. You know, like, let them cook, let them do their thing. They always deliver. And I very much do feel that way. But let's say we have that mentality and we have that feeling. And then we finally see a game like Concord. Like, we see the gameplay and it's like, wow. That looks like the most generic thing, you know? Like the most generic thing I've ever seen. That's not exciting. Not really what we wanted, Sony. Okay. All right. Well, it happens. It's one game maybe a lot of people are feeling down on. And then we see Fair Games gameplay. And it's like pretty much the same thing, where it's like, oh, this looks like a Ubisoft live service game. What the hell? Like, what? Like, this is what we're getting from PlayStation Studios? Saying this is a safe place. We're having a therapy session today, boys. You know, it's like, what the fuck? Like, okay, that's kind of crazy. And then we see the Horizon multiplayer game, and it basically looks like Genshin Impact. And then it's another like, okay. And then we see London Studios live service multiplayer game, and it looks like another kind of, you know, neon colored cartoonish graphical game. And then we see The Last of Us multiplayer and it looks great. But then at the same time, it's like, it's clear that they are there's just not enough content or something like that, right? Or they're not able to maintain it as a proper live service because that's not what Naughty Dog usually does. I mean, I am a little bit worried that if I allow myself to, it's hard for me to put that kind of faith in PlayStation, knowing they've never went down this road before. You're saying by that time, PlayStation hardcore fans would have been already conditioned to the new PlayStation way? PlayStation relationship counseling, communication problems. That's funny, dude. I mean, yeah, and that's true. You're saying Silent Hill 2 Remake, Rise of the Ronin, DS2, FF Rebirth, Stellar Blade, Helldivers 2. Yeah, that's true. And I guess that's just where things are just, again, they're in this kind of limbo state where it's like, I have no concern when it comes to PlayStation single player. I don't. I just don't. I don't have a concern with Sucker Punch's next single player game. Even Naughty Dog. I mean, they're going to do what they do and it'll do well. Regardless of how much drama there may be around it, it'll do well. Sony Santa Monica, I mean, maybe Blue Point, maybe Housemarque. These are top tier studios, in my opinion, that are not, as far as we know, they're not working on multiplayer games. So when it comes to that side of things, I'm not worried. When it comes to Sony continuing to pursue third-party exclusives, like some of the games you mentioned, like Rise of the Ronin, FF7 Rebirth, I'm not worried about that either. And so I feel like as a PlayStation fan that has come to expect a certain something from Sony, I'm not worried that that's going to go anywhere at all. It seems pretty clear that's here to stay. Even if there are some points in time, like earlier this year, where there's a little bit of a lull, but still, Spider-Man 2 delivers, then that's all that matters, right? But the part that I'm worried about, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I have definitely noticed this. There was a massive shift from the PS4 generation to the PS5 generation when it comes to how much Sony cares about how they're perceived and their reputation on the internet. During the PS4 generation, Sony was on top of that shit, dude. Sony really actually, they cared a lot. Sony, underneath Sean Layden and underneath, people like Jack Trenton and Andrew House and Shuhei Yoshida, Sony really cared about the PR side, the public relations, and how people were talking about them on the internet. Was it positive? Was it negative? Was there no conversation? I noticed under Jim, and I think this is a Jim Ryan thing. Sony seems to not give a fuck what people on the internet think. And I get it. I've talked to you guys about why that is, where it's Jim Ryan's job is to keep the shareholders happy, to keep things going up. And up until this point, that's what it's been. That's what it's been. Sony's been doing great, or PlayStation's been doing great, PS5's doing great, their game's doing great. But here's where things get a little bit interesting to me. This last quarter from PlayStation, from Sony in general, seems like the first time where things are starting to go down a little bit. And I can't help but think, I'm I looked at the NPD report, everything looked great. Now we're looking at the bigger picture. Here's the quarterly report. Things are not looking as great. And really quick, we got Jay Pierce coming in here today. Jay Pierce drops another membership gift on us here, bringing us to 8 members on the day, following up Hellbound's 5. Really appreciate that, Jay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for keeping the membership train going. You already got plenty of W's in the chat going there.
Enough from
Speaking
me.
of Jim Ryan, I'll give you another
We're gonna have the games to
Jim Ryan there. his probably best quote. Probably, not necessarily the quote he'll always be remembered for. But yeah, I appreciate that, Jay. Thank you. But it got me thinking. When I went over the data, that's your favorite, Jay? Cool, man. When I went over the data for the NPD report, now just a reminder, the NPD report only covers the US and it was only for the month of June. Everything was up for PlayStation. Everything was up. So the message that I took away from that data was, I guess the bad showcase didn't have a negative impact. I guess everything's fine. But actually, if you look at the quarterly earnings, which, if I'm not mistaken, I need to figure this out though. Sony's Q1 earnings. I just want to make sure I have my facts straight here. I just need to know what time period the Q1 earnings entail. Oh, wow. You can download the whole PDF. Why can't I find this information? Sony Pictures. That's Sony Pictures. Sorry, guys. Give me one. I just want to make sure I have my facts straight here. Chat, can you help me out? I don't know why I'm... Yeah, so it's April through June. No. Is it? No, you're right. You're okay. All right, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why. I was like trying to just make sure I had the right data here. I'm like, Q1, that's like the previous 3 months. So am I lagging again? What the? I'm getting annoyed at my stream, man. Like, why is it lagging? Is it lagging? Uh-oh. My chat seems to have froze here. Hold on, I need some feedback right now, guys. I lost everything. What the fuck is going on today, man? Okay, hold on. All right, got my chat back. Saying I'm good. Okay, wow. I do not know what is going on, but this shit's getting like annoying at this point. All my shit just froze, like just completely, and it just had to like refresh. Sorry about that. I really have no fucking idea at this point. You know what's so weird is I have so many streams where it's just fine. There's no problems. And then just randomly there are streams like this where it's like a fucking nightmare. I'm always having technical issues. I should rename my channel Technical Issue Bound Gamer. The astral plane was trying to pull me in for a moment. Dude, Gaming Survivor always gets me, man. He must be a comedian. He always gets me. That's funny shit, dude. You saying you got huge lag before the stream totally blacked out? Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just get these lags, but maybe I got to reset my modem. Maybe I got to start doing that more often. I don't know if that actually helps or not, but I feel like it probably should. Anyway, let me get back on topic here. So yeah, April, June. So Q1, the Q1 earnings are between April 1st and the end of June, the last day of June. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because during that time, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen PlayStation lose so much momentum and goodwill at one time. And I get it. Like, there are people who I don't want people to get defensive, because if you point out, well, it wasn't all bad, you're right. You're right. It wasn't all bad. And I'm not saying it was all bad. It's just, the reality is I've been following PlayStation for many years at this point, and I have never seen them. I'm not saying it was like as bad or as like cataclysmic like the PS3 launch days, nothing like that, certainly not. But they lost a lot of momentum, and it really began with the showcase. They did their showcase at the end of May, and it just did not, it was not at all what it was supposed to be. We've talked about it numerous times at this point. But I've just been also thinking about the fact that during that time, or not too long after, he's saying, I'm just sad because I finished Final Fantasy 16. Not too long after the showcase, Microsoft has their showcase, and people love it. To put things in perspective, most people gave Sony showcase a C or a D, and pretty much everybody gave Microsoft showcase an A. And there was just a lot of hate for Sony, and people, people who don't like PlayStation or PlayStation fans, and again, look to kind of create content dunking on that, they were thriving, and maybe they still are, I don't know, but they were definitely thriving at that time. And it just wasn't great, man. It really wasn't. Even with Final Fantasy 16, it wasn't enough to kind of completely, wipe that stuff away. And so that's why I'm looking at these numbers, and I'm like, is this like the first time we're seeing like a real tangible impact? Well, let's look. How did things go for PlayStation in April? If I'm not mistaken, I think April was filled with more ABK drama. Okay, how was May? There was the build up to the PlayStation showcase. Expectations were through the fucking roof. Rightfully so. Everybody was like, this is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for. And then the showcase happened, and in a lot of people's minds, it was a fucking disaster. And then after that, we went into June, where their competition, Microsoft, basically just, does the opposite, has an incredible showcase. And Final Fantasy 16, the conversation should be, you would think, mostly positive, and I think it was, but there was also even drama around that, between the performance and sales and yada yada. And it's just like, it's just been bullshit, man. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it was just months of bullshit, and I'm just really trying to figure out at this point, like, does Jim Ryan, because this is the only language he clearly speaks, hey man, you've spent like this generation, and I like Jim Ryan to an extent. Like, I don't hate him. I think he could do better in areas for sure, but I respect the fact that Jim just makes it clear he's a businessman. He's here to run the PlayStation business. I get that. I know he's not here to be my friend. I know he's not a gamer, and that's fine, but it's just clear that underneath Jim Ryan, he doesn't care about PR. As long as PlayStation is doing well. As long as the numbers are good, then who fucking cares? But you know what? PlayStation has taken the biggest PR hit that I've seen in a long time, if ever, in May after that showcase. And with this whole ABK deal and the trial that happened in July, it's been bad, dude. Like, it's taken a toll on the reputation of PlayStation. Not for everybody, but for a lot of people. And I am beginning to question myself, like, is it actually beginning to have a tangible impact on Sony's bottom line? Because this is the first quarter where it's like, not looking too great. Not looking too great. It's not looking dire, but it looks like you're slipping. And what's interesting, and I just want to point this out, and I'll read these 2 super chats. I just want to point this out so I can complete this thought. It's interesting when you look at Sony's attitude going forward. They did not hit their sales target for PS5s in this quarter. Okay? So between April and June, they did not hit their sales target. However, their main goal is to sell 25 million PS5s by the end of March of next year. 25 million in total. And when the shareholders asked Sony, or I think it's Sony's CFO or president, you didn't hit your target. Like, are you changing your target goal? Are you readjusting? And they said, no, we're not. Sony said, we're not readjusting. We are confident we are going to hit that 25. And by the way, that 25 million is a new record. Like, that would set a new record, like by far, for the most amount of PlayStation consoles sold in a fiscal year. And to me, something is up here, dude. Like, something is not amiss, but there's just something lurking that we don't quite, like, we can't see it yet fully, because that's crazy. Like, I don't know how Sony, I'm just trying to figure out where Sony gets that confidence from. Is it just Spider-Man 2? Like, you miss your target, your financials are, your share price is going down. You don't really, you miss a lot of your targets, frankly. And you stop reporting PS Plus numbers, and then they come out and they basically double down and say, nope, like we're good. We are confident that we'll be just fine. We're gonna hit our goals. I don't know, man. So there's just some kind of disconnect here. I guess what I'm trying to say at this point is my hope is Jim Ryan maybe sees that. Yeah, let me simplify this. I have a question for you guys, and I'm curious to see what you have to say. How do you think Jim Ryan feels about the showcase that PlayStation held in May? Like, how do you think? Do you think he's like in a bubble and he's like, they loved it, they all loved it? Or do you think he's aware that, like, that didn't go down that as great as we had hoped? There's a lot of negativity out there. Because, like, that's the thing, like, that's the question I have. Because if Jim Ryan thinks that showcase was good, then we have a problem. Like, straight up, we have a problem with PlayStation's leadership. If he is aware that it was lacking and he knows why it was lacking, but it's just like, that's the best we could do right now, and we just got to bite the bullet, and we'll come back stronger with another one, then I don't think we have to worry. And that's that's what I want to know. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, Jim Ryan, Herman Hulst, these guys have went totally radio silent after that showcase. We have not heard from them, except for the one time we heard from Jim Ryan, and it was actually a pre-recording during the July ABK trial. And even then, it wasn't anything good. It was just more drama. And I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but I just feel like, is this how this entire year is going to be for PlayStation? Like, we're just not going to be able to see them kind of get back to that form. I mean, maybe it starts with Spider-Man 2. But I'm just dying to know, dude. I am. And I'm sure you guys can tell right now. And I don't mean to sound like entitled, or I'm not trying to be whiny or anything. Like, they're a company, they got to run their business. They got to run their studios. They got to do what they got to do. But I'm just dying to know, like, what is your next move, Sony? Because right now, the confidence is at an all-time low. Just straight up. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. You're selling PS5s. People still like the brand. The brand's still doing very well. Spider-Man 2 is going to do phenomenal, but the confidence in the fan base is at an all-time low, man. And the easiest way to know this is because of how easy it is for people to go on the attack. And even though I said, again, that it seems like what we're seeing on the internet, what people are saying, the rhetoric, the conversations, it's not based in reality. It doesn't actually matter. I'm actually beginning to change my tune a little bit on that, where it's like, actually, I'm not so sure now. Because now I have data from Sony's quarterly earnings that says it might actually matter. It might matter, actually, a lot, maybe more than we thought. And we have Big MP making his return here. Big MP comes in and he drops another 5 membership gifts today. It's been a while since we've seen Big MP, but he is another legend, the legend potentially in these parts. He comes out of nowhere and he drops another 5 memberships. Dude, thank you so much for that, man. Let's get some W's in the chat for Big MP. I'll give him a Jin Sakai. I know he likes
everything for my people.
Probably likes Ghost of Tsushima, and I'll give him Crazy Arnold. Crazy Arnold's his favorite. So thank you for that, man. That brings us up to 13 members on the day. I have to... Where are we at here? Yeah, 13. There we go. So I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for keeping that going. You're saying the giant has awoken. That's funny, bro. The giant has awoken. I got a couple super chats here. Let me make sure I read these. I've been keeping you guys waiting. Beezer1138, you're saying, any thoughts on Sony's completed mega merger with Z to become the nation's largest media company in India? I'll be honest with you, Beezer. I think that the only thought that comes to mind is that, see, Sony, they like to get involved with their acquisitions too and their mergers. I'm not familiar with this, truthfully. I don't know if this is going to have any impact on PlayStation. I don't know. I'm assuming this is good for Sony. You're saying they're becoming the nation's largest media company in India. Yeah, I imagine that's gonna be a pretty big deal for Sony as a company itself, but I'm not sure that it's gonna have any impact on PlayStation. I'd have to look into it, Beezer, but this is the first I'm hearing of this. If anybody in the chat has any insight into this, please let us know. So I'm sorry if that's an underwhelming response, Beezer, but nonetheless, man, I do appreciate your super chat. And we have Josh Z. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat, man. You're saying Jim is trying to grow PlayStation horizontally, and if you're trying to expand, you can't be worried about PR before you roll out your new ventures. Then you run the risk of making promises you can't keep, like Xbox. That's an interesting way to think about it, Josh, because that is true. That is absolutely true that Jim Ryan, he is the first head of PlayStation that is trying to grow them horizontally. And for those who maybe don't understand what that means, it's like, trying to expand the PlayStation brand outward rather than just focusing on growing up, but, going into different areas and, widening the brand in a way, just making it available, to more people in different ways. And I think we're clearly seeing that. And really quick, Beezer, you're saying it's funny. It also faced a lot of issues with regulators, just like ABK. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. That you can never. I've always said, like, these are corporations we're talking about, right? Obviously, there's always an optic battle. There's always a PR battle. But at the end of the day, like, they're companies. They're all playing the same game here. Regardless of how they look, they're all playing the same game. But yeah, Josh, it's funny you bring it up in this way, because you say if you're trying to expand horizontally, you can't worry about public relations before you roll out your new ventures, because then you run the risk of making promises you can't keep, like Xbox. That is true. I think that is a problem that Xbox has run into, like, a couple of times, certainly, since they really changed their tune with how they're going to run the Xbox brand. And we have Laughing Man 923 who makes his return here to the stream to drop another 5 membership gifts. He follows up Big MP. He keeps this membership train going today. Big shout out to you, Laughing Man 923. I appreciate you stopping by the stream again and showing some direct support like that. So let's get some W's in the chat. I'm gonna give you,
No matter what,
play Joel there.
you keep
I
finding
feel like I
something
haven't
to
played him
fight
today, and I'll
for.
give you another
Do not be
Kratos
sorry.
here, dude. Thank you so much for keeping
Be
it going.
better.
That actually brings us up to 18 members on the day. So I can't actually see my counter here. Let me. Guys, quick question. Can you tell me how many members it says we have on the counter for the member goal? I don't know if I added too many. There's more lag with this stream. You're saying 17. Oh, I'm actually one behind. Actually, I don't know if the number it's showing me is completely correct, because again, I think it may have counted a milestone shot. Either way, it doesn't matter. All right, I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for helping me out here, because we're having some serious technical difficulties for some reason today. Saying the lag when you update your counter. Yeah, I know, right, man? All right. But yeah, so Laughing Man, thank you for that, dude. I just want to know. I think you're right, Josh. Like, I think you might be right, because I was thinking about how, like, Sony's PR in 2020, PlayStation PR, was so radically different than it is now. Like, it's just like a night and day difference. Like, Sony was out here aggressive. I mean, just always talking, always giving us updates from studios, updates on everything, man. And more interviews with Mark Cerny, Jim Ryan, Herman Hulst, the whole 9 yards. And it's clear that they did this because they were about to launch the PS5. But I noticed at that time, they weren't really talking about many other things. You know, like, there wasn't much talk about the movies or the TV shows or PC. I mean, there was a little bit here and there, but a lot less. And it seems like ever since the PS5 launch, that's kind of when it shifted, where it's like, okay, we did our job with the PS5. Now, like you said, let's focus on kind of expanding horizontally. And it seems like ever since they did that, there just seems to be, I don't know, there just seems to be more negativity than ever before surrounding the PlayStation brand. And that's the thing that really depresses me as a PlayStation fan, is there's just so much negativity. I mean, so much negativity. And I get it. Even I'm being a little bit negative here today myself, questioning the live service games and when Sony's going to do something big again. But that's the thing that I'm waiting for Sony to respond to, because they just, again, they didn't do anything. Like, there was an overwhelmingly negative response to their showcase, and we were met with silence. More silence. You know, and it's like, we're still waiting for an answer of some kind, for some type of response. You're saying because that's all we focus on? No, I mean, not necessarily. I don't agree with that. Josh, you're saying you have too much to play to care. Yeah, I mean, I won't lie, man. I'm kind of feeling that way as well coming up, where it's like, I mean, once I get PSVR 2, I'm like I said, I'm really curious, knowing there's a whole library of games there. That's what's so weird to me, is it's so strange that this conversation just was brought up recently, where it's like, PSVR 2 has no games. I'm like, dude, I am literally feeling completely overwhelmed by, like, the amount of games that I'm going to have to choose from and sort through once I get VR 2. I see Steranko, I did get your super chat. It's coming up very shortly here, so just hang in there. So I appreciate the super chat, Josh. I have another one here from Jay Pierce. He says, MBG, have you seen the flack on Forza? It's not going to have a key feature everyone wanted. I forgot what it's called, but maybe you can look it up and see for yourself. The one, so yeah, I saw a couple people talking about this. Forza missing features. The 3 features that have been removed from Forza Motorsport due to the fact that they are not planned to be ready by launch. Those features are spectator mode. Okay. In multiplayer. AI racing featured in multiplayer, and split screen. Ooh, those two that's not good. No AI racing and no split screen. The spectator mode is annoying, but Jesus, man. This is what I mean, dude. Like, I'm not. Look, I hardly feel the need to ever rant about Xbox anymore because I'm just over it. But it's like, I mean, does anything need to be said at that point? It doesn't matter. PlayStation. Xbox had a good showcase. Starfield's going to be the game of the year, apparently, and so everything's fine. But it's like, dude, what the fuck, man? like this literally brings me back to Halo Infinite, where it's like we had the same issues where, sorry, we just have these major features that people expect, and they're just not going to be there. And the split screen thing, I mean, this is a common theme now with Xbox games, where these games, these players are conditioned to expect these co-op split screen options, and they're just not there, man. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I don't care. If Xbox fans are happy with that and they don't care, then go ahead. Be happy. I'm not playing. I don't care to play Forza. It is what it is. I'm sure they'll get it in there. Saying MBG Gran Turismo came with features 2 missing cars. Saying a broken split screen. You're saying it's still broken? Really? I would hope not, man. Generally speaking, like, we just need to see less of this. Like whether it doesn't matter whether it's Forza, whether it's Gran Turismo, whether it's any other game, like developers need to just get okay. And players too, like we just need to be okay. Where it's like, if you need more time to finish your game, then just take it and finish the game. And like Microsoft, like why the fuck does Microsoft feel like they need Forza now? Or like in October, like you have Starfield. Like I'm pretty sure it's okay if you need to delay Forza a couple months. It's fine. Like, who's going to care? If anything, fans would probably be happy. I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. Saying Forza's going to flop so badly. It'll probably be fine. And we have Exley 3000, another legend. We have these legends just coming in today, dropping another 5 memberships on us. Exley 3000 does it again, follows up some other generous gifters. Thank you so much, Exley, for that support, man. I want to thank all you guys for showing your support. Even on a day like today, it's a very unexciting day. I won't lie. It's just not a whole lot going on, but I still very much appreciate that you guys not only show up, but continue to show support. So
thank you. Appreciate it.
Actually, thank you once again, man. So let me add that 5 here. We should be at 23. If we're not at 23, please let me know if I have to correct that. You're saying they originally announced Forza in spring 2023 and didn't want to delay it again into 2024? Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's up to the players to decide. Like, I think that's disappointing news no matter what, but maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe they don't care. I'm not a Forza player really. At least not a Forza Motorsport player. So I don't know what their expectations are, dude. Maybe they're fine. I don't know. But Jay, yeah, I appreciate the super chat, man. You see, we got Steranko, and I want to give a shout out to Steranko for the super chat because it's their first time ever super chatting. I really appreciate that, buddy. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. You're saying if Xbox sales were rising while PlayStation were falling, then I could see that. But the PS5 is selling well, and Xbox sales have fallen since the show. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is true. Well, you know what gives me a lot of confidence, Steranko, because what you're pointing out is true. It seems that Sony really doesn't have to worry at all, at least for the PS5 generation. Seems like they don't have to worry at all about Microsoft, when it comes to Xbox, like the on the console side of things. I think it's clear now that Xbox is not, sales-wise, is not going to be able to catch up. But more importantly, I don't think Microsoft has any intention of trying to catch up with them. However, the one thing that does give me an immense amount of confidence, at least I want it to, is the fact that even though the PS5 is still selling well, it doesn't hit its target goal. But Sony's like, we're still confident it'll happen. Like, we're still going to hit it. It makes me wonder if they do have something up their sleeve that we are not aware of yet, because I mean, they're talking to their investors here. So. Very interesting, but that's a good point. As long as the PS5 continues to do well, man, and Sony puts out these games and they sell well, I just don't know. I don't know that they're going to feel the pressure of the internet, I guess you could say. So I'm interested to see, man. I'm interested to see the next quarterly earnings, right? Like, I'm interested to see how much different they are sales wise compared, like when it comes to PS5 sales wise to what we just saw. Because it might, this might just be a quarter where it's like, it was expected, slower quarter, not, don't have a big first party release. I'm just so curious, man, to know how Sony feels about their fan base, PlayStation, I mean, because they just seem to not, I don't know, man, they just communicate with us through blog posts, and there's like no face of PlayStation really anymore, saying you just want a roadmap. Yeah, I want a roadmap too, man. I do. A more clear roadmap. So I appreciate that super chat, Steranko. I have, let me see. Pig Roach says, here's some positivity with a pig emoji. I appreciate that, I guess. A little random, but I appreciate it. Actually, you're saying I think you should start your PSVR 2 journey with Moss Book 1+2. They're good. Replaying them now. I'll have to consider it, man. Like, that's the thing. There are just so... I am legitimately overwhelmed. Like, I don't know what anybody's smoking saying that PSVR 2 doesn't have any games. Like, dude, you fucking buy a PSVR 2, there's an overwhelming amount of games to choose from. Like, I really just don't know what you have to be smoking to turn to. I don't even have the headset, but to just go on the PlayStation Store and go to PSVR 2. And I mean, there's so many different, unique, like, just types of games where I'm like, I don't know. I know where I want to start. And some people have said that I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to start with Firewall Ultra. Some people were saying like it might be a bit much for me, and if it is, then I'll take a step back and be like, all right, let me try something else first. But you're saying I said that about Xbox MBG. Well, that's the thing, man, is like I've already established, and I mentioned this last stream, like it's true. There were times where I've said Xbox has no games, and that was unfair because that's hyperbole. Like it's not an accurate way to describe the platform. The more accurate terminology to use when I was talking about it was Xbox doesn't have a lot of great games, not enough great games, not enough games that I find very appealing. And I think a lot of people, you're saying, it's what I know, but I think it is important to, for the sake of not stoking the flame of the console wars, we probably should try to be more, you know, more accurate with the way we describe these things. Saying Phasmophobia is a horror PSVR 2 this month. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't actually see the trailer yet. Somebody sent it to me on Twitter. I gotta watch it. I gotta check this out. And I feel like that. I feel like people who say I have no interest in PSVR 2, it just doesn't seem like there's any games for me, or not enough games that seem interesting to me. I think that's a totally fair thing to say, But that's the problem is when people try to paint a picture that's untrue and enough people get behind it, it's like, yep. And I get it. It's human nature to do that sometimes, but it just creates unnecessary friction and problems, and if anything, it actually completely takes away from conveying a clear message to the platform holder or whatever. Let me see. We got Josh with a super chat. Thank you, man. You're saying, holy FF16 keeps going. I just beat the last icon. Yeah, dude, it is Final Fantasy 16. It's a marathon game, dude. It goes, and not in a bad way. I mean, maybe for some people they don't like it, but it's definitely a game that you gotta savor. You gotta understand that it's not just something you're gonna get through quickly. Certainly not. I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. Yeah, the icon battles, holy shit. Wrench, you're saying, have you seen any of Skizzle Axe's content? His content sometimes appears on my feed. It's something personal to him or any other content creator. I don't follow him too closely. But every now and again, I'll see a video of his kind of pop up on my feed. So yeah, I'm a little bit familiar. Saying MBG, you will feel rough starting with Firewall. You won't last 10 minutes guaranteed. You will get flushes and have to stop. Start with Horizon, then try Synapse. Why is that though? What's so different about a game like Firewall in VR versus a game like Horizon or Synapse? Firewall doesn't look too fast paced. Now I'm about to just do it anyway just to see now. Saying I won't last 10 minutes. You're saying MVG, I dove into PSVR 2 on RE8 with all motion sickness options off. Played 10 straight hours, no problem. Oh my God. Saying not everyone gets motion sickness. That's I don't know, man. I have no idea if I'm going to be a person who suffers from motion sickness or not. We'll see. It's like I report back to you guys. I threw up everywhere. I'm returning this headset. I can't do this. This was the worst experience of my life. No, I don't. I'm just joking. There's no way it could be that bad. I think I'll be fine too. The only thing I'm actually worried about, and truthfully, the only thing that I'm actually a little bit nervous about is if I'm going to get headaches. To me, that's the thing I'm worried about because I don't like getting headaches. I mean, I don't like feeling nauseous either, but I do not like getting headaches. It ruins my entire day. Saying good luck, MBG. Just understand that nobody gets used to VR immediately. Yeah. I'm assuming it'll take a little bit of time. No doubt about it. Saying just watch out for the cats. You know what? Yeah, my cats. I'm more worried. I don't want to hit my TV screen or anything like that. I'm a little bit nervous about that too. Saying literally the only PSVR 2 thing I felt a little queasy was Kayak VR, smashing things into rocks. You know, that's what's, to me, that's the craziest thing about VR and why I'm so eager to experience it is like the fact that it really does trick your brain. Like that's like, it's kind of fucked up in a way, you know? Like I've seen so many videos of people. I don't think this is a game that's maybe it's available on PSVR 1, but there's like this VR game of like standing on like top of a building or something, or like at the edge of a building, and like it just fucks people up, man, because like they're just standing on a floor in their home or something, but they are totally convinced that if they move an inch forward, like they're gonna fall to their death. Like that, like to me, that's just kind of messed up, you know? Like a part of me almost thinks like that can't be good for your brain. Can't, like, you know, something's a little wrong there. All right, let me see. We got Pig Roach again. He says, no one knew Forza had split screen. That's so funny though, in a way, you know, where it's like no one even, like, they could have not said anything about it. Like they could have said nothing about having, like, not having split screen, and like no one would have said anything or noticed. That's so funny to me. Maybe it's true. Again, I don't know. And actually says it's so good it's gonna blow your mind. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man, I am I know I keep talking about it. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to overhype anything. Certainly not, because for all I know, I might not like it. But I'm just so vastly curious to know if, like, I've played many, many shooters over the years, and I think that's why a game like Firewall Ultra is so appealing to me. Just knowing that PSVR 2 is such a leap technologically from the first one, and I totally missed out on the first PSVR. I played so many shooters, man, and you know, I'm kind of at a point with shooters where it's not that I'm bored with them. I'm not. I'm always, you know, but it's just I know exactly what to expect, and you know, there's not really anything that could. I just don't see anything in the 2D shooter space that's ever gonna make me go like, oh my god, like this is totally revolutionary, you know. And that's fine. I don't necessarily think that there needs to be that, but I am just so curious to know if, like, well, have you tried playing a tactical first person shooter in VR? Like, well, no, I haven't. You know, you're saying there's a clip where a guy in VR dives and breaks his TV. See, that this is what I'm saying. I don't want to be that guy, man. Holy shit, if I'm that guy. Oh, you know what? I have another question really quickly here for my PSVR and VR2 players. So, with PlayStation VR 1, okay? With PlayStation VR 1, I know Firewall was available on that. But I know with PSVR 1, they had the light gun, like the PlayStation light gun that you could actually use in that. And I noticed with PSVR 2, they're not offering that this time. You just have the controllers on each hand. I I've never experienced VR, as I've said. I've never played these guns. I don't know. To me, it seems like on the outside looking in that using the move gun, I guess, is that what it's called, actually seems like it would enhance the experience on PSVR 2. But then again, I don't know. I know the technology in the controllers for PSVR 2 is so much more advanced than the move controllers that maybe I don't know. I'm just trying to imagine like what it would feel like to simulate holding like a rifle, you know, with the two controllers. Not sure. I guess it's just maybe it's just like a, yeah, I see, this is where it's impossible for me to to understand it, because I know it's a matter of it. You just feel it, you know, like you just feel it. I wonder if they're going to come out with another one. You're saying the controllers work well in Pavlov. That's all I can say. And you know what? Last question I have here. You're saying you couldn't grab your knife or grenades. Oh, okay. All right. Last question I have. I've seen a lot of people recommending Pavlov as well. Now, I don't know how many people here have played both Pavlov and the original Firewall. I know nobody here has played Firewall Ultra yet. It's not out, but what's the main difference between these two games? Like, which one is better in terms of like which is the better shooter? Because to me, Firewall Ultra, I don't know, it just looks like really, really good. Like it looks like, to me, it just looks like a team that's like dedicated. Like we want to make a really refined, great feeling tactical shooter. And Pavlov, I don't know, it just kind of, it looks good. You're saying Pavlov is janky, but it's fun for 10 minutes. You're saying there's no structure, it's chaos. Okay. I guess maybe that's the difference. To whereas like Firewall Ultra is more like a, you know, is it like, I think it's like round based, right? I don't know. In case you guys can't tell, I'm pretty excited. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty excited to experience Firewall Ultra. You know, there's not a whole lot of gameplay out there, but I rewatched the gameplay trailer, and it looks good, dude. It does. Like the thing that I'm really curious to know is if this becomes like my new thing. You know, that's what I want to know, because it's been the last game that I got like addicted to. I'm talking in like a multiplayer space, was Dead by Daylight. And that was back in 2021. That was the first time I ever played Dead by Daylight. And I was like, holy shit. Like it's been years since I played a multiplayer game that like hooked me in like this, where I'm like, this is brand new. I've never experienced a game quite like this. I've never played anything like this. And I was totally addicted, and I still play it to this day. You know, it's lost its luster a bit. You know, I don't know if I should be ashamed to say this, dude. I have over 1,000 hours in Dead by Daylight, accumulated in like what, 2 years. So that should give you an idea. Like I love that game, but I'm at a point where it's like I'm a little bit burned out. You know, I'm a little bit burned out, and so yeah, I'm just like really wondering, like, is this going to be, when I experience this, is this going to be like another like, oh my god, like holy shit, like that, I've never experienced anything like this. This is so fresh and exciting. I hope so. You're saying I hope you stream your first time with PSVR 2. I don't know. I don't know about that. Can you even stream from your PlayStation with PSVR 2? Is that a possibility? I feel like I remember them announcing you could. Because that would be, I don't know if I would stream my first time, but I would, it would be cool to do like future streams like that, saying yes, you can stream. Yeah, I would have to figure out how to. Okay, so here's a question I have. Where does your mic plug in? Oh, I guess the headset itself, right? Yeah. Yeah, see, this is where my lack of familiarity with PSVR 2. I guess that's where the headset and the mic plug in. I'll think about it, man. You're saying don't stream an MBG. VR is about immersion. You can't have that with hundreds watching you and voices in your ears. Well, I assure you, I'm not streaming my first time playing. Like I'm sorry if that disappoints people, but I have no idea. Also, I didn't consider this. Like, I'm pretty sure I can't wear my hat, right? If I'm gonna, when I put the headset on, so I might not be able to be on camera. I don't know, or maybe I have to figure something out there. I gotta wait till the 100K, man. I can't do it. Streaming MVG, we need to see you punch your TV live. Oh my god, no. No, so here's what I'll do. When I get it, I think I'll unbox it on stream or something. But I'm gonna take my own time to set it up, get acquainted with it, and I will report back to you guys. Obviously, like I'm who knows how excited I'll be about it or disappointed. I'm looking forward to that conversation, and I'll talk to you guys extensively about it. And assuming I'm going to enjoy it, we can, yeah, in the future, maybe we could do some streams, man. That would be, I'll tell you right now, like, if I'm that excited about it, if I enjoy it that much, I will want to stream it. Like, I will want to be like, damn, guys, let's do, let's take out some people in Firewall or whatever. So, you know what? I got one last, I'm sorry. I got all the, oh yeah, I could wear my snake wig. Yeah, there we go. I could do, there we go. I got one last question. Solid Snake MVG is coming back. One last question. How difficult is the setup process for PSVR 2? Because that's something that I'm just curious about. I know it only has one wire that plugs in, which is really convenient. Saying, oh, MVG, if you need glasses in real life, you'll need to use them in VR too. VR sight is no different. Is designed to accommodate glasses. Okay. I mean, my vision really isn't that bad. It's just not like my left eye. It's not 20/20 vision anymore. It's like slightly under that, and I can notice it. So I like to wear my glasses when I want just the best possible vision, but I still see very well. So I think I would be okay without wearing glasses, but saying it's very easy and painless. Awesome. All right, that's good to know. Yeah, I was like wondering, like, is it a hassle to set up? I'm excited, man. I am. I just really hope I'm not let down, because I don't know. I know some people might think I'm exaggerating, but I don't think I've been this excited about something gaming related in a long time. Just simply for the fact that it's so unknown to me. Like, now that I'm so close to it, it's like, damn, like, am I about to just totally revolutionize gaming for myself? Or maybe not. Because I don't know, man. I've seen how passionate some people get about it. And it may, I know that feeling. I do. Like, I know that feeling of like, your mind is fucking blown. And just seeing other people who clearly like don't play VR or haven't, like, they just kind of shit on it. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe it's not blowing up, but come on. Come on. I don't know. You're saying the only risk you have is thinking it will replace your regular gaming. It's not meant to be played daily. Yeah, that's what I'm really curious about. Like Firewall Ultra again. I don't know what this. I'm assuming this is gonna play like a top tier shooter, and if it's like I fucking love it, I almost wonder if I'm gonna have to like actually try to break it up and not be on it too much. Because I imagine like playing VR constantly probably isn't very good for you. Yeah, we'll see, man. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be an experience, that's for sure. And I'll let you guys know how it is. And actually, you're saying it will reinvigorate your love of gaming. It's very good. You can absolutely play it daily. This is an absurd notion. Well, let's see, man. We're very close now. You know what? I also just want to say an observation of mine. It seems like it's very different for every person. That seems to be something I've noticed, where for some people, I think some people respond differently to VR. Like, I think maybe there are people who could play VR every day and they're fine. And maybe other people, it's one of these things where it's like they got to kind of space it out a little bit. Or maybe even just some people, it's like it really doesn't sit well with them and they struggle with it. So it seems like it's very much an individual thing. That is the funny, I didn't even consider that. It takes energy to play. That's another, I just didn't even think of that. I'm like, you're right. Like, you have to get up, you have to move. See, this is where I'm just like, this is crazy. I didn't even consider that. Gaming to me is just being stationary. This is great, man. I'm excited. You saying you don't get VR sick or sleepy? Do people get sleepy? Maybe is that why? Like, because is it a lot of physical effort? Maybe this is so funny to me. I just like have never put this much thought into VR. And putting all this thought into it now, it's like kind of it's funny. You're saying gaming is normally your lazy time, your me time. You sweat while playing? Damn. Yeah, I will say, dude, the thing I'm even more excited about than experiencing Firewall Ultra, I need to know, like, I'm going to be very careful about this. I need to know what is the first horror game I should play in PSVR 2 because I want my first horror experience to be a good one on this thing. You know, it doesn't have to be the most scary, just something good. Like, I don't want to play something that's like cheesy or underwhelming, you know? Like, I want a good horror. And I know maybe people are going to say Resident Evil 8. And I think you're probably right about that. I don't know. Resident Evil 8's tough though because I know the game. You know, like I already played it. I know it's around every corner, you know? I'm talking about something like fresh, brand new, something that's like I have no just that true fear of like I don't fucking know what's about to happen. I imagine Resident Evil 7 and 8 are probably still pretty scary in VR. Although I think 7 you can only play in VR 1. Saying wait for Madison if you want something. Yeah, I might do that. That's what I was thinking. Like that Madison game looks pretty fucking disturbing, man. Like, because I really want to see like if I actually get the shit scared out of me. That would be a hell of a stream. Saying Switchback. I have to look deeper in the Switchback. Saying it's very different handling weapons in RE8 VR. All right. We'll get there. MBG will now do his workouts in VR. Hell yeah. All right, let me see. I'm sorry I keep some of you guys waiting with your super chats. Another one from Josh. He says, I've just seen Green Hell just got released on PSVR 2 today. VR Skater released last week. Firewall and Sierra Squad next week. The amount of VR 2 games. I know. Like, dude, that's the thing is I think people... So I saw this article that somebody sent me. It was either a video or an article. I forget which one. But the idea, what it was trying to convey is that people need to realize that the traditional AAA experience that you have grown to expect on the console is not what you should expect on VR because it just doesn't work that way. Like the best VR games, and again, this is not me saying this, but whoever was talking about it, the best VR games are not games that are just like, here's a traditional AAA VR game, just like the 2D version. Like there has to be something there that is like it's bespoke, you know, like that. And that to me is why I'm so interested in Firewall Ultra because it's like again, Firewall Ultra is not available to play without VR2. Like this is a game literally made to be experienced in VR, and you know, I'm just so curious to see how it stacks up to all the traditional shooters I've played. How much different is it? You know, what it's lacking, what it may not be like, what it may be offering that no other game can. These are all things that greatly interest me. But yeah, Josh, that's the thing. Sierra Squad too. I have to look into that as well. That's another shooter. I saw VR Skater. VR Skater is, I don't know. I don't even know how you play that. B Fletcher says, MBG, whoever said that is wrong. Half-Life, Alex, Resident Evil, Gran Turismo. These are the best VR games. Yeah, I guess that's true too. I guess maybe like from what I can tell, it seems like games, like the traditional experience needs to have a certain amount of love and care put into it in order for it to properly translate to VR. And maybe that's kind of obvious, but it's like, you know, I think about Resident Evil 4 remake. Like I'm actually incredibly excited for that whenever that comes out for VR2, and it seems like it's going to be the full game, and like that's crazy to me. I don't know why. That's just like, to me, that's kind of crazy. Like I don't even know what that would be like. My experience with Resident Evil 4 is playing it way back in the day on my PlayStation 2, playing it many times since then, and more recently, just playing it on my PS5, just sitting in front of my screen, playing it, and just imagining, well, like, put this headset on, grab these controllers. Now you're literally in the village now, and you're gonna go through the castle and the whole, and that's just crazy to me. So it's just hard for me to imagine, how does that translate? Like, I don't get it. Like, I go from playing an over the shoulder third person, shooter basically in on my PS5 and Resident Evil 4 remake, to where it's like, now, you're looking through the eyes of Leon and you feel like you're actually fucking taking these dudes out, like in real life. It's like, that's crazy. I just never really thought about it too hard, MBG, you going to play Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Probably not, man. I can't bring myself to play it when I have Dead by Daylight. I don't know why. Maybe that's unfair, but they have like the Alien update for Dead by Daylight that's coming out. You're saying Horizon is a free demo. I owe it to myself. I didn't know that. If there's a free demo, I'll definitely give it a shot, man. AI and VR, definitely dystopian. Yeah, to a degree. Certainly. We have the Zombie Fanatic. He says PlayStation releasing their games on PC makes sense since they're called Sony Computer Entertainment. That's true. It says it right there, bro. Computer Entertainment. How have we missed this entire time? It was right in front of us this whole time. How are we shocked? How is anybody shocked? I appreciate that, Zombie Fanatic. That's so funny to think. Got Josh again. He's saying, I'm so excited. We are 1 week out from Firewall. Yeah, dude. I'm excited too, bro. I really am. And I have 2 super chats back to back from Pig Roach. He says, so Xbox sold 21 plus consoles with no games. I guess you say like 21 million with no games. W for Microsoft, in your opinion. And you say, we should all chill and play WWE Champions. So I feel like this is the second stream in a row where you're recommending WWE Champions. Yeah, I mean, that's true, man. It, for better or for worse, it is true. The fact that Microsoft was able to move as many consoles as they have with, frankly, minimal output. I mean, it does go to show that there is the Xbox brand does have a certain strength, but it's just a matter of like, is it good enough for Microsoft? Obviously not. They need more. So you're saying like it's a W in your opinion, and I get that, but in Microsoft's opinion, I don't think that's a W. But it does go to show that there is still love there for the Xbox brand, for sure. And then I have another super. Thank you, Josh, for all the super chats, man. Oh my God, Leia just scared the living shit out of me, dude. She just like popped up out of nowhere and ran towards in my direction. I didn't know what was happening. Sorry, Josh, thank you for all the super chats, man. You're saying here, wait till you hear the 3D audio in these VR games. When you're actually in the game, bro, you'll grab a Mark Cerny poster immediately. Crazy immersion. And you're saying you can actually get official prescription inserts for the headset. Really? That's wild. I had no idea. You're saying Digital Foundry guy loves them. And I hope I run into you in a Firewall lobby, my man. Yeah, that'd be interesting, dude, because I don't know how I don't know how many people I may run into or not. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm excited. I won't lie. I don't want to get myself too excited, just in case it's not what I think it's going to be, or if it's if it's lacking in some way. The last thing I want to do is come back to you guys and be like, well, guys, I'm gonna have to return my VR headset, because that would suck. But you know what? Another reason why I knew I was always going to get PlayStation VR 2, and I would be shocked if I was wrong about this, because I see you guys talking about it in the chat. I fully anticipate that the next Astrobot game we get is going to be like, I think it's going to be available on PS5 to play, but I think it's going to be one of these like hybrid games but I anticipate they're probably looking to make it available on PSVR 2. You know, I mean, look at what they did with the last Astro game. It was meant to kind of test the limits of the PlayStation 5 and show you everything that it can do in some ways. And I imagine they want to do something similar with VR2, and that would be awesome. So, yeah, man. Actually says you can get excited. I'm confident it will meet your expectations. Yeah, man. Let's do it, man. I'm ready. And I didn't really consider this either, but one of the things I am looking forward to about PSVR 2 is the fact that I'm so used to every time I go into a PlayStation show, whether it's a state of play, a showcase, or anything in between, I'm like, I just don't care about the VR announcements because I don't have it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't own it. I'm not part of it. And now that I'm going to be part of that, it just kind of adds a new layer. You know what I mean? A new layer of excitement potentially for some of these future announcements. So, all right. So I came over here to, oh yeah, we got to talk about this, dude. Holy shit. Did you guys see the new strike system that Xbox is implementing on their platform? Where is it? Where is it? Guys, please. So there's a new strike system that Xbox is implementing, dude, and it seems kind of crazy to me. Tijual, a member for 1 month, you're saying MBG would have a heart attack if GTA 6, Wolverine, Death Stranding 2, and Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta came out in the same year. Oh my God. Yeah, I would. How would I play? I mean, that would be too much, man. That's too much. We don't need all that in 1 year. We don't need all that. It'd be, you know what? That would be probably the greatest year of gaming ever, though. That would be the greatest year of gaming ever. It could, you know what? It could happen. You know what's wild about that, dude, is that's not that unrealistic. GTA 6 could launch next year. Death Stranding 2 could launch next year. Wolverine could launch next year. MGS3 Delta could launch next year. That'd be insane, man. But I don't know, man. At the same time, surely one of them or two of them are going to get pushed to 2025. So check this shit out. There is I want to see if I can bring this image up for you guys. Because this is, I don't know. You know, I can't because I have my thing in performance mode. But there's this new image that Microsoft put out. Let me see. So enforcement stacking on the Xbox platform. User starts with 0 strikes. The most amount of strikes you could get are 8 strikes. And if you get 8 strikes, you're banned from, I don't know if you're banned from the Xbox platform. I think you're banned from multiplayer for a year. But I think if you read the blog, Microsoft does say that if you're involved in like illegal activity or something, they have the right, they reserve the right to actually just straight up delete your account, which I guess that's understandable, you know? But check this out. So 1 strike, you're banned for 1 day. You're suspended for 1 day. 2 strikes, 1 day. 3 strikes, 3 days. 4 strikes, 7 days. 5 strikes, 14 days. 6 strikes, 21 days. 7 strikes, 60 days. And 8 strikes, 1 year. So how do you get strikes? Examples of strikes added for each type of action. Hate speech, plus 3 strikes. Harassment or bullying, plus 2 strikes. Sexually inappropriate, plus 2 strikes. Cheating, plus 1. How is cheating only plus 1 strike? Are you kidding me? What? That should be easily plus 3. And then get this. This is the one that I don't quite understand. Profanity, plus 1 strike. They need to be specific with that, bro. Because, like, do you know how many people you're saying, is this real or is it a joke? No, this is real. Like, legit, Xbox announced this on the Xbox Wire. But the thing, and it also says not all actions are represented in this graphic. +1 for profanity. So you're telling me if you say fuck, you can get a strike? What? So check this out. If we go to the the Xbox blog, we are constantly improving our safety measures and bringing more systems and tools in place that empower players to respectfully interact with one another, because everyone deserves a place to comfortably be themselves online, free from harassment and bullying. One of the most common questions we get from players through feedback posts and appeals is how repeated enforcements impact their gameplay, how they escalate, what they escalate to, and how they know when their account is back in good standing. So we're introducing a new enforcement strike system. It says here the new system attaches strikes to every enforcement, ranging in severity based on inappropriate activity. Each player will now have a view of their enforcement history, including strikes and the overall impact these have on your player record. This is crazy. This revised system gives players a better understanding of enforcement severity and the I cannot say that word. The total effect of multiple enforcements. Enforcement transparency is about giving players clarity into how their behavior impacts their experience. Our content moderation efforts are not changing as a result of the new enforcement system. As always, when a player believes they have witnessed a violation of Xbox's community standards, we encourage them to report. All reports are evaluated. There are no automated enforcement actions based solely on the fact that a report was made. No volume of inaccurate reports results in an enforcement. Only reports that have been reviewed by the Xbox safety team and determined to be accurate result in an enforcement. So that's pretty important. Worth noting that, like, you know, you're not just going to have like an AI basically tell you like you're banned now. It actually has to be a person that manually reviews it. Says with this new system, enforcements will also include strikes based on the severity of their actions. The system is similar to a demerit strike used in driver's license systems in many countries. For example, a player that has received 2 strikes will be suspended from the platform for 1 day, whereas a player that receives 4 strikes will be suspended for 7 days. Players can have a total of 8 strikes, and once reached will be suspended from Xbox's social features like messaging, parties and party chat, multiplayer, and others for 1 year from the enforcement date. All strikes received stay on the player's record for 6 months. Jesus, you have a record now? You got an Xbox record? Today, players will all begin with a blank slate or 0 strikes. Any previous enforcements, such as suspensions, must still be completed. New enforcements as of today will result in strikes. With these changes, Xbox is evolving enforcement to focus on protecting players. This is why even suspended accounts remain functional for single-player experiences, and players do not lose access to purchased content. However, for the most serious violations, including illegal activity, Xbox retains the ability to permanently suspend all functionality of an account, including access to purchases. In 2022, fewer than 1% of all players received a temporary suspension, and only 1/3 of those received a second. God damn, it says players will still have the ability to appeal eligible enforcement. Xbox fucking dropping the hammer on their community, bro. They're tired of it. You're going to Xbox jail, bro. That's what's about to happen. No, I mean, I think it's a little bit like the only part of this to me that seems extreme that I think they should elaborate on is the profanity thing. You know what I mean? Like everything else, I get it. Like harassment, you know, cheating, shit like that. Yeah, fuck those people, you know? Like, but I don't know, man. I feel like this has got Xbox players nervous that like, shit, man. It's extra. I don't know, man. It's just the way they're talking about it. It sounds so fucking like, God damn, bro. Like, I'm just trying to go on Xbox and play some games, man. Like, why is there a whole demerit system here? A lifesaver at a gym? Oh, God damn. That dude almost just got fucking dropped. Sorry, I just got really distracted there. So that news came out today. Is there any other gaming news? Anything else we can catch up on here? Oh, that's so funny to me. Let's see what people have to say about this over on Charlie Intel. They posted it. People have become soft. No one has a pair of balls anymore. We now live in a world of snowflakes. Oh my god. They got enough on me to give me 20 lifetimes in Xbox jail time. I think I speak for everyone when I say this is dumb AF. COD lobby's about to be pretty quiet on Xbox. LOL. Yeah, really though. Jesus, man. If the party chat gets leaked, I'm going away for a long time. I don't know why Xbox is so soft about messages. Can't even call someone trash no more. You know what? You know what's weird to me about this shit, dude? Saying am I high? No, I'm not as focused today, man. Like there's just so little to discuss and I'm just going in any direction here. But you know what seems kind of dumb about this to me? Like I understand the sentiment where it's like we don't want people to be shitty. It's like, yeah, I don't want people to be shitty either, but that's just kind of the way it is. You know what's weird is like people can block people. You can, you know what I mean? Like you can block people and you can disable message. Like if you don't want to receive messages from people that are not your friends, that's an option. Like this is just so fucking excessive to me where it's like, Protector Microsoft, we're here to defend you. Like, bro, we got it. We're good. Like, you know, I don't know, dude. It's just, it's extreme. That's all. I bet you Sony's going to do this shit too, man. Hopefully not. Actually, doesn't Sony already have a system in party chat where you can straight up record somebody, you can clip them and report them and send that shit to Sony? I'm pretty sure that's a thing. And that's wild. Like, that is fucking wild. I mean, but you kind of got to go really out of your way to do something like that. Like you got to record somebody, you got to send that shit, and you also got to make sure that they said something, you know, that they can, I don't know. Like who does that? I don't know. Do people do that? I mean, I have all my shit, you know, I don't bother with people on my PlayStation profile. But, you know, I've never bothered with people, you know, like anytime somebody was like a shithead to me, I'll just block you, you know, like, see ya. Fuck, man. That's what I do on Twitter. Like the amount of shit I get on Twitter, it's like, do you know the amount of people I got to block? And it's like, there you go. Like I have that ability. I have that option. This idea that, I don't know. I just don't like this idea that people can express themselves how they wish. Like, I feel like you should, but people should have the ability to filter that as they wish. But I guess Microsoft wants to be the filter. Although, again, like, I'm assuming this shit is for like extreme shit. You know what I mean? I'm assuming this is for like extreme shit. Because, like, I don't think much is going to change. Although it'd be kind of funny if it did. It's like, imagine it changes so much that you just can't talk shit on Xbox anymore. You know? Xbox just became a police state. It's a police platform, yo. Saying, nah, try getting called the N-word every 2 seconds time. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's where it's like I get, because people do get too crazy out here. You know? Like people get too crazy out here with this shit where it's like, guys, is all that necessary? And like, it is what it is. Well, I guess we'll see how how this impacts or doesn't impact the Xbox community. I think that might be it, guys. I don't know. I think that's all. this might be all I have for you guys today because I'm trying to make sure that I'm not like I keep waiting for something to like be announced any second now or like some news to come out, but it doesn't look like it. I think this might be it. Man, things are strangely quiet. Is it just me? I need to know. Is it just me? Maybe it is just me. Things just seem really quiet. Saying MBG, look at Luna Abyss. Luna Abyss gameplay trailer. What is this?
You must be very excited. Only those who bear those beautiful red eyes are chosen.
Huh. Kind of weird. That's an interesting art style.
We see you.
Of my infinite knowledge.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this game is my style, but it looks interesting, man. Saying if I liked Returnal, I like Luna Abyss. I did really like Returnal, yeah. Did I already talk about Gamescom? I did, man. I did. I've talked about more than I thought I would. I have Feral Flame. Thank you for the super chat, man. You're saying, oh, good. It's worse than console consolidation. All Sony Microsoft trolls will be joining the PC trolls. Troll consolidation. I guess that's one. It's one way to look at it. If you want your freedom, you gotta go to PC, man. That's funny. That's a funny way of looking at it. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough, man. Like I do understand why these platform holders. I get it. Like they want their shit to be welcoming and whatnot. And, you know, plenty of people clearly do troll. And that's the tough part, man, is there are just some people that want to, you know, they just want to have some friendly competition, a little bit of friendly trash talk, and that's fine. But then there are other people where it's like they're genuinely just trying to be nasty people or ruin it, you know, and unfortunately, you know how the saying goes, man, it just takes one bad apple. It's one bad apple to spoil the whole bunch. So I guess we'll see where it goes. But yeah, guys, I think this is going to be a shorter stream today, honestly, because I don't want to just artificially, you know, I don't want to just artificially extend the stream here when I've frankly run out of things to talk about. And if I had something else that I felt like I could riff on or go off of, I would keep going. But I think it's good here. Oh, I see somebody in the chat saying, Josh, you're saying anyone see Gran Turismo? I'm confused. Like, I want to see Gran Turismo. Pigroach, you're asking if I read the supers. I did read all the super chats, man. Like, if you're concerned that I didn't read yours, I definitely did. No worries, man. I read your super chats. But I do want to see the Gran Turismo movie, mainly because I don't know. I want to review it for you guys. But what's weird, like, I don't know. I guess it got delayed in the United States till the 25th or something. What's crazy to me is, dude, the Rotten Tomatoes score on Gran Turismo, the movie, 60%. The user score, 98% last time I checked. Holy shit, dude. That's crazy. Like, that is a crazy user score. So I'm hoping that I'll enjoy it, man. So it's been a while since I went out to the movies. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Tokyo Game Show. What do I expect from Square before the game launches? Yeah, maybe we could get a new trailer. I think it's clear that the marketing for it's going to ramp up a bit. You know, it's got a confirmed early 2024 release. So MBG, fitness advice, you cutting or bulking? It's a great question. Before I go, actually, so I'm looking to cut a little bit. Like, I know my name is Muscle Bound Gamer, but I don't really want big muscles. Like, I don't want a lot of bulk anymore. Not that I don't know that I ever had that much, but I'm looking to trim some fat and retain as much muscle mass as I can. But I'm kind of at a point where I just want to. What's my weight right now? I mean, I haven't weighed myself in a little while, but the last time I checked, I was like 180, 183, around that. And my body fat percentage, I mean, I feel like it's not that high. It's not that low. It's also not that high. It's probably at like 20%, something like that. I'm not too cut. Maybe it could be higher than 20%. And so what I'm looking to do is basically trim as much. Like, I don't know. I want to be realistic with myself. Like, I don't want to lower my body fat percentage to be like 10% or something. Like, I just don't want to do that. I don't think that, like, I frankly don't think low body fat percentages, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%. I don't think that's really natural or very good for you. You know, like, I think the human body is meant to have a little bit of fat, for multiple reasons. But I get like people, they want to go, I think 15% to me, that looks like the sweet spot. Maybe 12. I mean, 12% is even still kind of extreme. It's hard, man, to get your body fat percentages down that low. It's tough, man. Saying take up cycling MBG is great. Actually, yeah, I do have a stationary bike that I use sometimes. You're saying you're at 10% now? That's good. That's really good. I mean, that's impressive. It's tough. Saying 170, 10%, lots of dieting and calisthenics. Yeah, I feel like having a lower body fat percentage, like if you're a super active person, it like makes sense, I just see like a lot of people that are obsessed with really low body fat, just to look super cut and ripped. And it does look cool, but I don't know. I'm more about practicality over anything else. And even like with my training, at this point in my life, I'm not that old, like I'm going to be 30 this year. So I'm not, but eventually I'm going to get old. And I think my goal now is with my training, I want to train for longevity more than anything. Like that's where I realized like my mindset has completely shifted, where in my early 20s, I wanted to bulk up, I wanted to be as big as I could, and still try to be cut, and I would take all the supplements. So I never juiced or anything. I just could never get into that. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, honestly. I got really close to it. Like, I remember when I was really, really, really into bodybuilding, I was like, okay, well, I seemingly reached like my natural peak where it's like, if you want to go further than this, like you're going to have to start enhancing yourself, and I made the decision. I'm like, nah, like it doesn't seem worth it to me. No offense to anybody who does. It's just it was a personal decision where I'm like, I just don't want to. I feel like with those types of things, like once you experience that, I mean, I can't speak to it, but I've always felt like once you experience that, like, what it feels like to be enhanced, to, go beyond your natural physical limits. It's probably hard to go back. And I could understand that for a lot of people, like once you experience that, you don't want to go back. And I think that's why for a lot of people, when you see them, they enhance themselves. It's kind of like a lifelong thing where like they stay on cycles, for, I mean, even now you see people in like their 60s, and it's weird because like sometimes as you see people like they get really old, it seems like it can actually be good for you, like stuff like growth hormone and whatnot. But for me, I just figure, I just want to live a natural life. I'm cool with that, but I just want to focus on longevity more than anything. And because of that, I have decided to try a new training approach that I've never really committed to before. And I'm interested to see how it works out. I've told you guys I never would lift super heavy. I never like power lift. Anytime I've attempted, I've always hurt myself. It never felt good for me. And especially when I would injure myself. I'm like, you know what? I don't care about being super, super strong. I just don't care. I want to be functional, you know? But I've always leaned much more towards the just natural feeling of, okay, I don't want to lift too light. You know what I mean? Like I still would always kind of push myself a little bit. Yeah, I do more volume, but I would still keep my rep ranges usually between like 7 and 10 or 8 and 12, which is probably fun. I'd say it's probably for most people the ideal range, but I'm going to do something different where I'm going to do a high rep, like a low weight, high rep routine for like a long time. And I just want to see, like, I mean, this is like volume. Like I'm going for like 20, 25, 30 reps. And I just want to see the results it produces. I've never really tried to train myself for like in that way, you know, to just really go for muscular endurance. I don't know what type of effect it'll have on my body. I know it'll probably help my joints because that's the thing. I was looking at like what are the best ways to train for longevity. A lot of people will say if you really want to train for longevity, don't lift weights. Honestly, like a lot of advice out there will say avoid weights because they like just do calisthenics. And it's kind of true if you think about it. You know, you do push-ups, you do pull-ups, you know, do planks, I'm sure there's plenty of other calisthenic exercises you can do, but you just stick to just body weight stuff. It's like the most natural thing you can do. And in a way, it's like your body will get exactly what it needs, and it'll get to the exact point where it needs to get to. But I don't think I could give up lifting weights. I enjoy it too much. And so I'm curious to see, man. I mean, yesterday I did a chest workout where I was doing reps up to 25, 30 reps, doing like 6, 8 sets. And I can feel it today, dude. Like, I'll tell you, like I can feel my chest is very sore. And it's more sore than it would be if I went with the normal weight and rep range that I go with. So curious to see what happens. But diet, yeah. I saw people were mentioning diet. Saying hypertrophic, low weight MBG is good. Incorporate isometric holds between the supersets. You'll be shredded in a month. Yeah, that's the thing about isometric exercises, man. Like, they always make me feel like, I don't know, man. How high do I want my blood pressure to go? You know, how high do I want my blood pressure to go? Yeah, I was doing a little bit of research into the science behind, you know, muscular growth and whatnot, and it's interesting because I mean, there's no concrete like black or white answer, but there are many, many, many studies which I can't cite them right now, but what I was watching that basically were showing that it seems that what happens to the muscle fibers themselves when you do like heavier low volume training versus like even higher rep, like 20, 25, 30 rep range is basically the same. Like it basically produces the same results. And we're just talking about muscle fibers. I mean, I think there's probably a difference in what happens to your bones, of course, and bone density and all that. But I just thought that was really interesting, you know? Saying it's tough, need good breathing technique, core technique. Yeah, dude, you need it all, man. Isometrics are hard. Like probably some of the toughest types of exercises you can do because it just requires so much discipline. I tried to do this. This was a little while ago, and I probably would do even worse now. But I saw that there was this push-up challenge. Is it called the Sally challenge or something? Where it's a song where it's like Sally went up, Sally went down, and basically you gotta go at the pace of the song and do your push-ups, and then like there's certain parts of the song where it basically, if you're following it, you have to hold your position when you go down for push-ups, and it's tough, man. It's only like, I think it's a total of just like 30. I think it's 30 push-ups. It was like 2 minutes straight, and it's brutal. It's really tough. It's a good test. Saying your face always looks like it's exploding. Eyes, yeah, the prize is size. Yeah, man. I mean, it's an individual thing, you know? Like, I feel like every person has to decide what it is with their fitness goals that they want to achieve. And, you know, I've gotten pretty big in the past. I've never like really blew up that big, you know, but I've taken, I'm trying to, so the craziest supplements I took were stuff like Animal Stack and whatnot, which they weren't, I mean, I don't know. I was kind of questioning what was in it, but like when I took that stuff, like that was the most, I think that was the closest I got to feeling like that kind of euphoric feeling you get, you know, when you're enhanced. Cause that's the thing. It does create like a kind of euphoric sense. Saying I'm jacked now. I appreciate that, man. I still got some work to do. My problem is the diet more than anything. The diet kills me. I cannot stick to, like, I want to have a pretty strict diet, you know, like cut out excess sugar, cut out junk, and just try to only eat, I mean, like high quality foods that are really going to fuel you and only produce benefits. And it's so hard, dude. Oh my God. Saying don't eat too much pasta. Dude, too much PS pasta. I love pasta, man. That's what I mean. Like, I know like there are people who are like, you know, don't eat white pasta, refined pasta. It's really bad for you. It's like, I'm still going to eat it. Like, I can't help it. Not all the time, but I just, I keep going to certain things, but it's because you get addicted, man. It's just the way the brain works. You get addicted to sugar. You get addicted to carbs. You get addicted to the high amount of salt, the high amount of fats, the combinations. Like, you know, it's really interesting. As far as I'm aware, in nature, there's nothing that combines a high amount of fat and a high amount of sugar, like in nature. Like if you go to eat like red meat, there's not really any carbs in that. There's no sugar, maybe like 1 or 2 grams of carbs, but it's very high in fat, saturated fat, you know, protein. You mentioned fruits. I mean, that's the thing. Fruits, they're high in carbs and sugars, but they're not high in fat. They're not that high in protein. And if you look all around in nature, you realize like that combination of high fats, high sugar, that's a man-made combination. And it's no wonder it does the most amount of damage to the human body when you combine those two things. I am Italian, yeah. So that's why I feel like I need my pasta, man. You're saying fructose in fruit is actually worse than refined sugar. Saying no one ever got fat eating fruit. I think it's just, again, I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's a matter of how extreme do you want to be about it? Because it's like this idea, like, I can't eat fruit because it's too sugary. I mean, some people get like that, you know, people who go on keto diets and whatnot. It's like, I can't have any carbs. It's like, I could never do that. I think that's too extreme. It's probably very healthy for you, like in terms of the results it produces. But for me, psychologically, it would be damaging where it's like, I want to, you know, you telling me I can't eat a banana or something, you know, or an apple, that's problematic or something. For me, it just, I couldn't do that. But, you know, it's like, well, if you're eating that banana in a, you know, sundae or something, you know, banana split, then it's like, well, you're saying there's no way sugar in fruit is worse than refined sugar. I don't know, man. Like I feel like things are always changing. You know, I feel like there's always new science coming out, shit coming out where it's like, it's always changing. It's always like this thing that was once thought to be good for you is actually bad for you. And this bad thing for is actually turns out it's good for you. It's like, well, geez, man. I feel like you just got to use your intuition and you got to use common sense where it's like too much of anything is bad. And then there are just some things that you know inherently are just worse for you. You know, it's like who's going to say an apple is like eating an apple is worse than eating a bag of Skittles? It's like, come on. Like it's clear, you know, like the apple is going to be way, way better, more beneficial for you. If any, like the Skittles are just straight up detrimental, you know, the Skittles are going to taste amazing. I love Skittles. It's like one of my favorite candies. It's going to taste amazing, and you're going to want to eat that whole bag, but that ain't doing fuck for you, man. Like, that's only hurting you. So it's tough, dude. It really is. And you get these the cravings are the hardest to deal with diets. Yeah, fruit, vitamins, nutrients. Does anybody here fast? I mean, I know like intermittent fasting is really popular. It's weird because like I would say that I do intermittent fasting, but apparently what breaks my fast is when I drink coffee, I drink it with some creamer. So I'm basically consuming a little bit of sugar with each cup of coffee. I drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning. And so I don't eat breakfast. I wait till around like lunchtime. And because of that, it's just like if I were to just cut out the creamer, which I couldn't do, which would mean I can't drink my coffee black. I can't do it, man. Saying you did keto with fasting for a few months, 42. Still got shredded. Yeah, keto is... See, the keto diet, to me, is a very extreme diet, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's an individual decision where the people that I've noticed have seemingly benefited the most from a keto diet are people who've had like health problems, like people who would be overweight, or are overweight, I mean, or would have like diabetes or something, and they would like switch to this keto diet where you're just eating all, like most of your calories are from fat and then the rest are from protein. And there's just no carbs whatsoever. And they lose weight. Like they just drop the pounds. They can, in some cases, I've seen people have like reversed their diabetes to a degree and like healed themselves. It's crazy, man. Like that's why I feel like if you live an extreme life, if you do anything extreme, like you have an extremely bad diet and you do that for years and years, you likely have to go in the other direction, for an extreme amount of time. Do something even, just as extreme on the opposite end to reverse the damage potentially. Actually, you're saying you fasted for 2 weeks one time? Holy shit, what was that like? Is that like a complete water fast? Saying you've been biking 100 miles a day for the last 3 months, feeling in tip-top shape. Bike weighs over 100 pounds. That's crazy, man. I can't even imagine what that would be like, a 2 week. I mean, what were the circumstances there, man? Did you just want to do that for health reasons? Because the amount of discipline to fast for even just a day or two, in my opinion, is very, very difficult. Like you need a lot of discipline, but to fast for 2 weeks, your longest fast was 31 days. Oh my God. That is fucking insane. That sounds almost dangerous, man. That is crazy. That sounds beyond hard, man. That I could never do. What's crazy though? Like it's so good. It's probably so good for your body. Saying you had some V8 after the 3rd day, the hunger felt the same. You lost 20 pounds. You wanted to lose weight quick. Well, I mean, that's the quickest way to do it, man. Saying you did research and you were careful. Yeah, I've heard of like these extreme fasts, man, and it can be dangerous. You do have to do your research because you could die. Like going 31 days without food, it's very dangerous. But if you do it the right way and I've heard stories of people, curing their cancer through basically starvation, and that was like a crazy thing that I learned about where, like cancer cells, they need energy. And basically anytime you consume calories, you're also feeding, the cancer cells. And I remember hearing some stories. It was this one guy in particular I heard about it a while ago. He had like stage 4 colon cancer, and he did like a 40-day fast, like just water. And when he finally started eating again, he only ate, I think he said he would only eat steak, like a specific cut of steak, like a grass-fed steak, and I think like a salad, like just lettuce. And it was assuming that he was telling the truth. His cancer just was completely eradicated. And I guess the idea is like, when you fast that long, like you are getting very close to like, you could die from starvation going that long without food. And you're saying that sounds unhealthy? It is. It is. Like, dude, you're fasting for 30 days, 35 days, 40 days. You are entering, like, people can starve to death in that mode. And it is unhealthy. It is dangerous. But what's crazy about it, first off, think about that. Like, what kind of will do you have to go that long, without eating? You're saying that's a lie or misdiagnosis. It could be. I mean, it's just interesting that, like, I know we're going off into like a different topic, but I remember, I'm not a doctor, obviously, you guys know this, but I remember hearing about how like cancer basically feeds on two main things. It feeds on glucose and it feeds on glutamine. And if you like, that's present in like everything. Like if you went on a complete keto diet and you consumed no glucose, you get no carbohydrates, nothing, you'll still get glutamine. Glutamine is an amino acid, and it's pretty much in everything. It's in almost everything you eat. And so that's where it's like, the idea, I guess, is you basically starve the cancer. You're starving yourself too. And that's what's crazy about it. Like people would say, like, well, how come doctors don't? Like, somebody might say, how come if that's an effective cancer treatment, right? Like, hey, don't eat. Cancer might might die and go away, and you'll be fine, right? If it's that simple, why don't doctors just do that? Like, just tell people, because it's like, how many people? Like, I mean, realistically, how many people are going to do that though? I mean, yeah, there's the whole big pharma thing as well. It's a system, of course, money, but in reality, I mean, think practically here. Like, a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that because, well, number one, it is dangerous, but number two, I don't think people quite understand the level of difficulty. Like, 30 plus days without food. Like, so literally, you want me to go into full blown starvation mode, like to where I could, this is like how people, in some cases, like, you go 30 plus, 35, 40 days without food, people die, So it's one of these things where I think realistically, a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. I don't think I'll be honest, I don't think I could. If somebody told me, it's like, yo, man, you either go 40 days without eating or you die. It's like, dude, you probably feel like you're dead or you're about to die when you get to that point, So it's great. I don't know. It's just really interesting stuff, man. Just looking into this shit and coming across these different stories. And I mean, everybody has so much to say on these topics, and there's just always new things popping up. Yeah, hallucinate. Yeah, I mean, dude, you will hallucinate probably. You go that long without food. Fuck, man. Interesting stuff. You're saying a healthy man has thousands of problems. A sick man only has one problem. It's an interesting, assuming that's a quote. You're saying you have a bulging disc. Yeah, I have spinal problems too. Saying you could. It's more about willpower than nutrition for most people. Yeah, I'll be honest, man. Like, that to me is the number one thing that people like that to me is the number one thing that holds people back, including me. Like it holds me back more than anything. It is your willpower. Like if you don't have the discipline and the willpower, good luck. And I say that as somebody who lacks a lot of discipline and willpower in certain areas of my life where it's like it is tough, man. Like it really, you know what I've learned? And I said I was going to end the stream like half hour ago, and yet but you know what? I think this is cool, man. There's no gaming topics, and we could just have some fun talking about this different stuff. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm enjoying it. You know what I've learned? And this is just my personal experience, and you know, maybe you guys can give me your own experiences or tell me if you agree or disagree. I've learned as a human being, you know, I was born in America, raised in this country. You know, I grew up in a pretty poor family, but not like dirt poor. You know, I can't say that I was like ever living on the streets or anything like that. You know, luckily. But I've noticed that the most difficult thing is that people really want to avoid any kind of suffering, like at all, usually. And that may sound like, well, yeah, of course, like who wants to suffer? But at the same time, I've also learned that actually it's kind of necessary in a lot of ways. And what I mean by that is there are different degrees of suffering. And I think it's just like anything else, right? It's just like pride. Like there's good pride, there's bad pride. And I feel like with suffering, there is good suffering and there's bad suffering. And I feel like what a lot of people don't realize until it's too late is that if you do a little bit of suffering the right way, it teaches you, you know, it changes you, and it kind of, it builds character, but it molds your mind. It builds mental toughness. And these are all things that, you know, everybody's going to run into a brick wall at some point in life. Not literally. I mean, sometimes literally. I've ran into a brick wall literally. Really bad, actually. Smashed my head. It was a whole thing when I was a kid. Some people, you know, run into a brick wall literally, but I mean, speaking metaphorically, like everybody's going to run into challenges that test them, that push them, and not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. And you know, learning to suffer to a degree is what's going to usually be the difference maker. Damn, bro. Disco Cobra coming in. He drops a $50 super chat, man, as I'm talking about suffering out here. Thank you so much, Disco Cobra. That came out of nowhere. I really appreciate that, man. I think we're going to switch to gaming here for a minute. He says, again, with a really generous super chat, he says, not really related to any of your topics, but just hopping on here to say, I wish for another action sports arcade style game, and you wish that they came back. Maybe it just fizzled out because the demand isn't there anymore. Games like Dave Mirra, Tony Hawk, Sledstorm, Burnout. You know, man, it's funny because like I would say, Disco Cobra, that your super chat, I mean, it's not too far out from what we're talking about. A large part of this topic was just talking about fitness and health, and it's interesting because like some of my favorite games of all time are the Tony Hawk games and Skate as well. And the reason for this is because I loved skateboarding. I've skated for many years. In fact, there was a time in my life where I was convinced, like, I want to be a professional skater, not realizing the difficulty of that and how that's not really, it's a very difficult thing to achieve. But yeah, dude, I grew up playing the Tony Hawk games. I played like the Dave Mirra games, and what was that other one? It's a snowboarding game. SSX, is that what it was called? I played those, but the Tony Hawk games were my favorite. And I mean, there's just so many memories. One of my all-time favorite games is Tony Hawk's Underground. I mean, that was awesome, dude. They had like an actual like single player where there was like characters and you're trying to make it. And I thought that was incredible. But more recently playing the remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, I was blown away, dude. Like, I was genuinely blown away by, like, they fucking nailed this thing, dude. I mean, this could have went really wrong, but they retained the exact feel of the original Tony Hawk games. They did they nailed it. And I heard, unfortunately, and this is what's kind of sad, and I think it speaks to what you're saying here, Disco Cobra, you're saying maybe it just fizzled out. Maybe there's not enough demand. What's sad to me is that apparently Activision was planning to do, or not Activision, but the studio, I think it was Vicarious Visions, they were planning to do a remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, but apparently, like, Activision was like, we're going to cancel that, and we're going to fold. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I think that studio actually got folded in to now be a Call of Duty studio. And that's, like, that was ultra depressing to me, because I'm like, what do you mean? Like, these guys fucking crushed this remake of these beloved games, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. If I look up the highest scored Metacritic game on PlayStation 1, I think it's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. And they just were like, nah. And the level of disappointment is immense here, man. And I saw somebody in the chat mentioning Skate. There is a new Skate game in development. It's going to be free to play from EA. I'm excited for it, man. I won't lie. I'm excited for it. I'm going to be there day one. I love the Skate games, but Disco Cobra, what you're talking about is like the more arcade style, and Skate is not really that. Like, I think it kind of can be a little bit, but you're talking just more about the like fast pace, like button combinations, high score type of stuff. And it's just so weird to me that we're going to have a new Skate that I'm hoping is good, but we're not going to have that, like we're not going to have that classic, just arcade like Skate game. Unless Activision is planning, I don't know, maybe this is where Microsoft can do some good, man. Like, knowing that Activision wants nothing to do apparently with another Tony Hawk game, at least seemingly, once Microsoft owns them, like, I don't even care if it's an Xbox exclusive, right? Like, do something with it. These games are too good to not do something with, or at the very least to not remake. So it's a great question, Disco Cobra, and yeah, it's so funny to me that it's just so funny to me that I was always drawn to these skateboarding games because I skate in real life. And yeah, I know there's that VR skateboarding game. How does that work, dude? We talked all about PSVR 2 earlier. I have no idea how this works. Like, how does... I mean, I know you're not using your feet like you would on a skateboard, so I don't... How does this work? I'm so confused. But apparently it's good, which is weird to me. But Disco Cobra, man, again, I want to give you a big thank you, man. It's a $50 super chat. Very kind of you. Out of nowhere here, too, at the 11th hour here with the stream. So we'll have to see, man. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled and see if these arcade-style games end up coming back, whether it's snowboarding, skateboarding, BMX, anything in between. Right now, unfortunately, it just kind of seems like, I don't know, it just seems like maybe these types of games are kind of, they're going to be dormant for a while, unfortunately. So again, thank you for that, man. And we have DeRock. He comes in with a super chat and he says, just saying what's up and salute to the community. Really appreciate that, DeRock. Thank you. Yeah, I salute this community, man. You guys always show immense support. You really do. Even at times when I'm going on my tangents about other things outside of gaming, like suffering. We must suffer. Suffer a little, benefit a lot, Skinny Avocado says, "Hey yo." Hey yo. Well, I think it's time to end the stream now, guys. No, but I appreciate it. But yeah, I'll finish what I was saying real quick, and I think I will actually probably end the stream after this last thing I want to say, because we're talking like way longer than I expected to. Pizza and love. Yeah, dude. Pizza and love. Pizza sounds good right now. God, see, this is what I mean. I'm talking about trying to be healthier. Now I'm thinking about pizza. The Rock with the $2 super, he says, have you seen the trailer for the Jurassic Park game? You know, I saw somebody mention this to me, if we're thinking about the same game. Somebody told me there's like a Jurassic Park horror game for PSVR 2. Unless you're talking about something else, but somebody mentioned that to me, and I was like, that actually sounds pretty damn interesting. I might have to go check that out. You're saying unless it's Pizza Hut? Dude, okay. The Rock, I'm sorry, but we got to have this conversation about pizza real quick, okay? It has to happen. What's up with Pizza Hut? I'm sorry if I offend anybody here, but what the fuck is up with Pizza Hut, dude? Like, I have tried my whole life to enjoy some aspect. Hold on. Tell me I got solicitors outside my house, bro. I fucking hate solicitors, man. I'm about to have to go answer that door and say, get the fuck off my lawn. I'm legit about to stick my head out my window and tell this guy, like, bro, I don't want any. Whatever it is, I don't want it. You're saying it's the CIA, brother? I don't know. I see him. He's standing there. Dude, it must be the CIA. Saying they visited your house too, man. You know what I don't like about it too? You know what I like about the solicitors is like they stand out there way longer than they have any right to. Like, bro, no one's answering. Please move on. Please. All right. They moved on. Dude, I swear, if it went on for, I was giving it like 10 more seconds. I'm like, I'm going to stick my head out the window and be like, bro, no thank you. I'm in the middle of a stream right now. That would have been funny. I should have done that. Fuck. I should have done that. That would have been one of the more memorable moments on the stream. But I can't stand solicitors, bro. Like, I get it. I don't know, man. Anyway, let's get back to this topic of pizza. I just want to say, like, what is up with Pizza Hut? Like, I have had all the pizza, right? Like, Pizza Hut more than anything, I do not understand the hype. Like, people talk about Pizza Hut like it's so great, and I'm like, this tastes like a sponge, man. Like, is it just me? Is it just me? Saying Pizza Hut has changed? I feel like it did change. I feel like when I was younger, Pizza Hut was good, and then, like, dude, the last time I had Pizza Hut, my wife was like, oh, let's just order Pizza Hut. It's been a long time. I'm like, I don't know. But I took a chance. And I'm like, okay, maybe, yeah, it's been a long time. Maybe I like it. And it was the worst experience I've had. Like, I was straight up angry. I'm like, this is not good. Like, how much money did I pay for this? This is ridiculous. I see people mentioning, Domino's is completely hit or miss, I think. In my experience, where with Domino's, it's like, it really depends on like what type of Domino's you're getting it from. Like, all of them seem to be run very differently. Some of them are higher quality. The Domino's around me, for the longest time, they were horrible. Like, they were really bad. And I'm like, this is unacceptable. Like, you guys need to hire some new people or something, get new management, because this shit's bad. And I gave it, like, I stopped ordering from them for a long time. And then, they came around. And I'm like, all right, let's give it another shot. And they have improved greatly. Like, I guess they actually did change management or something, because it was way better the last couple times. I'm like, it was pretty good. But where I'm at, there are, like, I don't know if this is a regional thing. Like, I'm on the East Coast, Northeast, dude. Pizza places every fucking where. Like, half my diet my entire life has been pizza. There's just pizza everywhere. And I talked to you guys about this pizza place that, again, like, I mean, I'm not kidding you when I say that I think there's like 12 pizza places within my vicinity. Like, within just probably like 10 miles. Way less than 10 miles. probably 5 miles. Within a 5-mile radius, there's probably 10 plus pizza places. And what I didn't know for the longest time where I live is there's this one pizza place that is, it's like coveted. It's like considered like one of the best pizza places. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe in the state, I don't know, but it's like up there. And it's like a couple blocks from me. And I just never knew about this place. And one day I was like, maybe we should try this. And then me and my wife find out, we're like, holy shit, this is considered like the best pizza place ever. And ever since then, it's like, it's been hard to go like eat pizza from anywhere else. It really sucks that it's so close too, though. See, this is what I mean. This is what I'm talking to you guys about, diet, discipline, suffering. It's kind of hard to do that when it's like feeling hungry, being a little bit hangry. I'm a little bit irritable. Got one of the best pizza joints in the state, a couple blocks away. It's like, and it's affordable too. Like that's it's affordable as well. And it's just, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. But I love pizza, man. How do you guys feel about frozen pizza? Like the grocery store frozen pizza. The only grocery store frozen pizza that I actually think is there are two that I like. There is there's DiGiorno and Red Baron. Yeah, Red Baron is like way better than it has any right to be. And DiGiorno is like, I don't know. DiGiorno, I can tell like there's a lot of bad shit in this. And I gotta admit, like there's what's their slogan? Like, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. Like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not quite there. But yeah, Red Baron, man, is why is it so good? Like, what's their secret? Man, now I'm hungry. Now I gotta go get some pizza. Saying St. Louis pizza is the best. I mean, I've never been to St. Louis, so I couldn't speak to that. Red Baron makes deep dish singles? I don't think I've ever had that. A Red Baron deep dish single. All right, here's another one for you. What do you prefer? Ready? Do you prefer, like, what's better? What are you going for? How do we go from fitness to pizza? This is how you see what I'm saying? I ask myself that same question. How do I wake up with goals, have some crazy workouts, tell myself this is going to be the day where I change my diet, and then by the time I'm done my workout, I'm like, I'm going to order a pizza. This is how it happens, man. All right? So what are you going with? You going with pizza bagels or what do they call it? Pizza bites? What the hell? Why am I drawing a blank on the name? Tostinos. Yeah, so you're going with, because I feel like Tostinos is really what everybody knows, right? Like that's like the go-to, I think. Pizza rolls. I was like, I know the name of the brand. Why can't I think of what they're called? They're called pizza rolls. Pizza bagels or pizza rolls? What are you going for? See, for me, you're saying neither. Honestly, like pizza bagels are pretty good, man. I hate pizza rolls. I just can't. I can't do them. Like I'll eat them if I have to. They're okay. But pizza rolls, nah, man. You're saying neither. Processed vomit inducing nastiness. Bagel bites they're pretty good. They're okay. I enjoy them. But you know what? You're right. Like, actually, I totally get where you're coming from. Because, like, when a lot of these foods, you could just taste it, you know? Imagine if you're a grown-ass man eating bagel bites. Hey, listen, I'm not going to judge. just from time to time, you know? I'm not going to lie. It's not like my go-to meal. I'm going to go make some, next stream, I'm going to have some bagel bites on here. How about that? Maybe not next stream, but soon. I'll just have a plate of bagel bites. Just eat them slowly throughout the stream. But, yeah, man, I totally get what you're saying, actually, where there's just a lot of this food, you could just taste it. You know what I mean? You could just taste that extra processing it goes through. MBG Red Gaming Tech just put out a video saying the PS5 Pro is a 4K ray tracing monster and updated specs, something to talk about in the next stream. Ooh. Yeah, I think he's had some, if I'm not mistaken, I don't follow Red Gaming Tech too closely, but I think he was saying for a long time that Sony's doing a PS5 Pro, and I guess he's right. Excuse me. You could just taste the poison. Yeah. Oh, man. Now I'm getting nauseous thinking about all the processing that goes on with this food. All right, I got one last question just because I feel like this is a funny topic. And this is the last thing because I let the stream go on for too long. Oh, and yeah, I don't microwave things, dude. Like, I can't. The only thing I'm willing to microwave is popcorn. That's it. That's like, popcorn is the only thing I'm willing to microwave. I can't eat anything else out of a microwave because just, I don't know, it just doesn't come out right. But the only other question I had for you guys before I head out here is, how do you guys feel about snacking while gaming? Because I feel like this is I don't know, is this like a controversial topic? Like, I feel like we all have those moments where we want to snack while gaming, but it's tough to find the right one. Saying you do it all the time. Like, the question is, what do you snack on when you're eating? Because I feel like, what do you snack on when you're eating? When you're gaming? What do you snack on when you're eating? Because it's all about the controller, right? Like, you don't want to get shit on your controller. Like, for me, the most effective snack, like the cleanest snack, if you're just looking to munch on something while you're gaming, is like pretzel sticks. Maybe get a little bit of salt here and there, but, you know, they're clean. Pizza rolls. Yeah, I guess they would be pretty good. Nothing, no snack at all. Is it weird that I eat veggies and dip? No, that's actually good. I mean, like, who's actually eating Doritos when they game, you know? I couldn't do it. My friend will eat wings while gaming. Oh my God. Yeah, that dude is crazy. That is some psychopathic behavior right there. Eating like, I mean, if you're talking about like unsauced wings, maybe. Because it's like, okay, maybe if you're not greasy, you know, but I don't know, man. If your hands aren't getting a little bit messy when eating a wing, then I would question if you're even eating a wing at that point. But that's wild. You can hear the sauce in the mic. God damn, dude. Yeah, did anybody ever have that? Like, you have a friend growing up and you go over their house and you go to sit down and play like a game. Maybe you're like sharing the controller and like they hand you the controller. It's just like greasy. Like, it's just got a whole layer of grease on it. I remember when I was younger, I had a friend like that, and I dreaded like ever playing at his house because like he would just hand me this controller, and it was just I would even complain to him. I'm like, dude, you got to clean your controller, man. Like, I didn't want to be rude about it, but it's like, dude, come on. Like, this is not good. You're saying he's a clean dude though, so it's funny. He's a bodybuilder, so he's always eating. That makes sense, man. Got to get those calories in. Got to get that protein. Josh, dude, thank you for the $2 super chat, man. You're saying, do you forget to drink while gaming? Actually, no. Gaming is one of the only times I actually don't forget to drink. That's a great question, though. Because I feel like for a lot of people, it's probably the opposite. Like, they do forget. For me, it's everything else. When I'm doing everything else throughout the day, I forget to drink. But when I sit down and I game, I always have like water bottles in front of me. So I'm always just grabbing it, you know? But I do wonder if that's a problem that other people have. I think a lot of people just forget to drink in general. I don't understand that. And I need somebody to explain this to me. I keep saying this is the last thing, but I got another question. I don't understand what's up with thirst in our brains. Because I feel like we are told you got to drink more. We don't drink enough. Right? Like you got to drink more water. If your pee isn't, light yellow or close to being clear, you're dehydrated. That's what we're told. But how come you're never thirsty? Like, is there a design flaw here? Because that's my thing. Be like, I'm not thirsty hardly ever. Like, the only time I'm actually legitimately thirsty, like my brain is telling me like you need to drink water, is if I go, like hours without it, like hours and hours, like I haven't had any drink, or if I have something super, super salty. So I don't quite understand. You're saying you're always dehydrated because you work outside in landscaping. Yeah, that's one thing too, is like you got to be careful. You do need electrolytes. Like if you just drink nothing but plain water, it can actually work against you if you drink too much and don't get enough electrolytes. You're saying it's because of being sedentary? Yeah, I don't know, man. I can never quite figure this out. Like right now, for example, I'm talking to you guys a lot. I've been talking for hours. I've drank 2.5 cups of coffee today. I think I had half a bottle of water, maybe one bottle of water. So like 16 ounces. And like my throat's a little dry from talking, but I don't feel thirsty. Like I feel like something in my brain is telling me like I should hydrate and drink, but I don't feel thirsty. So I'm like, what's going on here? But I'll take a couple. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just you have to drink a little bit. Like I observe my cats, man. I know that sounds weird, but I check out like how do my cats behave? What are they doing? I feel like you can learn, and what my cats do, they don't, like they just drink a little bit at just like random parts of the day. But they'll go like hours without drinking and they're fine, and they have water. You're saying some lady on the 4th of July weekend died from over consuming water. Yeah, I saw that. She was really thirsty and quickly drank half a gallon. She collapsed and died from brain swelling. Yeah, dude, I saw that and that is crazy. And I remember like listening to that story, and the reason was because she just drank plain water and she like literally overloaded her body with water, and there weren't enough electrolytes to like disperse it where it needs to go. That's wild. Saying everybody's needs are different, but you don't need 8-ounce glasses a day. Yeah, I do agree. I think it's an individual thing. Saying that's actually how you're supposed to drink, a little at a time. Called hyponatremia. That's wild. Yeah, I heard it's always good to put just a little bit of salt in your water. If you're drinking like a large glass or something, or a water bottle, just a pinch of salt in there. Saying you've actually been increasing your salt intake for dinner and notice the effect of hydration in the gym. Yeah, I notice when I have a little bit more salt, it gives me a better pump when I'm working out, which is nice. Saying, what do you feed your cats, soft or hard food? They eat both. They're spoiled that way. Yeah, it's interesting stuff, man. Saying if you give your cats soft food, they won't drink as much water. Yeah, actually, that's true. That's a good point. Cats probably don't need as much water too. Carbonated mineral water is best. Carbonation, yeah. It's just interesting. It's just food for thought, because I feel like you just hear this stuff all the time. It's like, gotta drink more water, drink more water. It's like, but what if you're not thirsty? I'm about to experiment and see what happens if I only drink when I'm actually thirsty. And what's crazy too is like I drink coffee. I think coffee's more hydrating than it gets credit for. I know it's a diuretic and it will expel like excess water from your body, but I still think it's hydrating a little bit because I don't get it, man. Like I start my day drinking 2 cups of coffee, and it definitely makes me have to use the bathroom more a couple more times. But it's just like I don't feel thirsty though. It's just so weird. I don't know. I don't know how we got into this conversation though, but here we are, man. Here we are. Well, so you're saying I keep getting in your way. I keep saying I'm going to get off, and I don't. Bro, all right. MBG's costume. Bro, I appreciate the hustle, man, but I've told you, man. I've told you so many times. It's nothing personal. I'm not going to add you. It's nothing personal, man. I keep my friends list on PlayStation just regulated to people I know in person, just because I don't. That's just what I prefer, man. I like to have a little bit of privacy. So please do not take it personal. I see you on my Twitter, on my streams, on my comment section, be like, Day. I mean, if you want to keep it going, man, that's fine. Like if this is just like you want to see how many days you can go, because 46 days, bro, that's commitment. That is commitment, man. I admire the commitment. Saying you won't give up. All right. It's cool, man. It's cool. I just feel bad because I don't want anybody to take it personally. Like, no, I'm not adding you. You're not welcome. It's not like that. Anyway. All right. I think this is where I'm gonna have to end the stream because I don't know. I tried to keep it as gaming as I could, but it happens sometimes. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I do enjoy kind of going off, with the second half of stream sometimes. There are no more topics, just kind of going in these different directions, talking about other things, other aspects of life. I do enjoy it. It helps, I think, kind of shake things up a little bit and change things, a bit. Changes the energy a little bit. So, let me see here. Let me make sure everything's So before I head out, guys, I do telling me to keep going. You want to start pulling quotes from Metal Gear. You have plenty of opportunities, man. You have plenty of opportunities. I know you got those quotes on hand, but yeah, that's going to do it for this stream, guys. I do want to, again, extend a big thank you to everybody who continues to support my content here. Everybody who gifted memberships today, everybody who donates a super chat. You guys know that the support is very much appreciated, and it allows me to do what I do here. And without that support, I wouldn't be able to do it, and we wouldn't be able to have these what I think are pretty fun conversations. So thank you guys so much. It'll be interesting to see what happens for the remainder of the week. I'm kind of expecting the remainder of the week to be just as quiet, and if we have to kind of start going in some different directions to talk about other things, then we'll do that. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. So before I go, I also want to make sure to give a shout out to Devil Shooter. Devil Shooter's been doing the timestamps for all the streams, and he gets them out pretty quick. So if you happen to see him in the comment section, make sure you give him a big thank you. He's really been doing great work for the community. And tomorrow I should have hopefully a new video out for you guys, and then we'll have another stream. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, by Thursday. Same time, same place, and I hope to see you guys then. All right, so that does it. Until the next time, guys,